interest rates anytime soon may have been dashed with this morning's release of the latest consumer price index. ABC's Jim Ryan says inflation's running hotter than it has in more than 3 years.
In the 12 months leading up to May, consumer prices, with food and energy included, rose 4.2%. To illustrate just how much more we're paying, Moody's Analytics says the average American household has pumped an extra $510 into the family car since the start of the Iran war.
And News 2 says a new report shows personal bankruptcy filings are on the rise in Tennessee. A new study showing more than 21,600 filings in the past year, up about 6.6%. And apparently the report is blaming job loss, medical debt, and other rising costs. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, knock on wood. Right now, I don't see any crashes on the interstates, just the usual brake, tap, and stop and go. Eastbound 440 over to 24, northbound 65 up to the South Loop, and then, of course, eastbound South Loop over to 65. And starting to slow down a little bit through that construction there between Madison and Goodlettsville if you're northbound 65. I'm Ken Weaver.
As we begin the show today, I bid you a happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's doing well on this June 10, 20. Is it the 10th? That's right. So tomorrow, yeah, that means the 12th and the 19th. Yeah, that's right. It is June 10, 2026. That's the year of our Lord. Thank you for being with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was just living vicariously through my buddies Chris Hand and Dan Mandis because I just learned. I was today years old when I learned that they were out next week, and so I'm trying to get them to tell me where they're going. And loose bets are on hand in Disney World, obviously, because we all know how much he loves the Disney properties. and Dan Mandis is no doubt on yet another cruise,
Disney cruise,
probably a Disney cruise, because we all know how much he likes cruises and how much he likes Disney properties. So there you go. So there, I mean, my goodness gracious. We're here next week, though. We're here for the rest of the week this week. We're just in the middle of the week. My goodness gracious. You heard the voice, the laughter of there's Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. Jackson Williams behind the glass. We're going to talk to him in a moment. Ken, what's going on, brother?
How about you boys?
What's happening with you? You sound good.
Now, thank you very much.
How you feeling? You getting some sleep?
3 straight nights of sleep, boys.
That's good news.
I think
That's good news.
For now, anyway, I think I might have figured this thing out, but just don't know yet. But thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
3 straight nights of sleep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lord. Fingers crossed. Thank you, birds, or
Yes,
at least
sir.
bird noises.
It's those bird. It's really weird, man. That sound machine with those birds chirping. It's so weird.
I don't think I told this story on the radio. I'm going to tell it now. So, E and Ken and I were talking on the phone Sunday because E has this Meniere's, and I think Ken was just looking for some ideas. Just throw some ideas on the wall and see what happens. And Ken, while we were talking, and I told you this story yesterday, while we were talking, I heard all of these birds in the background. And we got off the phone. I didn't want to, we were talking about, getting you some sleep and trying to help you out and figuring out what's going on with our brother Ken Weaver. And we got off the phone and I'm like, did you hear all those birds? And Erica's like, yeah. She's like, I guess Ken was outside. And I was like, I think they must have birds. And I was like, Ken, this is happening. I was like, no, those were close. I was like, I'm going to ask him when he gets better if they I think Ken and Jen must own some birds.
We just got a bunch of birds.
Just got a bunch of birds in the house. And then, so Ken later on was like, man, I figured it out. I can't use waves or white noise. I used bird noises. And I was like, oh, now I got it. So you got a noise machine that does bird sounds.
Yeah, got a noise machine that does it does so-called white noise, brown noise, which brown noise is kind of duller than white noise. You know how white noise can kind of be a little high pitched?
Uh-huh.
Well, the brown noise is duller. It's softer.
The brown noise is not like the brown note, right?
I don't know.
Do you know what the brown note is?
No.
All right,
It's a note so low that everyone poops themselves. So you're not doing that, are you, Ken?
So, hey, Jackson, welcome to the show.
What's up?
How you doing?
I love that. That's the first thing I said to a microphone. That's why I love my job.
No,
That is
not yet, Brother Jackson. I haven't got there yet.
That's factually accurate. Yeah.
What TV show is that from?
I don't know, but
The League.
I was at a John Mayer concert at Oak Mountain Amphitheater in Pelham, Alabama. And John Mayer scared the hell out of the first 3 rows of the audience because he told this long, convoluted story about the brown note. And he owned the story and made them believe it. And he goes, all right, we're going to demonstrate the brown note. But I just warn you guys, if you're in the first 3 rows of the audience, this can sometimes have a very negative impact on your bowels. Yeah, all these cute little girls there to see John Mayer. They're all excited. Anyway, brown noise is not the brown note.
That's right.
Got it.
That's
got it.
right. But you can get a little bubbling brook.
Uh-huh.
A little brook. You can get a river.
Yeah.
Inside of a jet airplane.
Oh, yes. What about train? You get
Yeah, you get a train. Get a train. Oh, what else, man? There's just all kinds of things. But then there are these birds. And it's like I said, man, I remember, I've had this tinnitus for a long time. I've been in radio since I was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. We're talking, what is that, 46 years?
Are you
42 years.
Are we the same age? How old are you?
I'm 58.
All right, I'm 50. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that would be that'd be something like 42 years. Yes.
Ken ran the board for the first fireside chat.
You're such a jerk. Mr. President, Mr. President, see, we're about ready to go.
About ready to take the microphone, Mr. President. But anyway, and then as of late in my career here in Tennessee, especially now since I moved to afternoons, I've got my headphones on all day.
Yeah.
And I have had to make it a point to turn them down. Because I'm losing my hearing.
Yeah.
And that's what this tinnitus is.
Yeah.
It's your brain sending out signals that, hey, I'm not hearing anything. What's going on? So
Yeah, what's happening out there?
nonetheless, I noticed that whenever I'd take little Fritz out for his walks, my neighborhood sound would calm that hissing down. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try these birds. And bam. I mean, after I got off the phone with you and E,
Yeah.
I slept like a
Nice.
rock, dude.
Nice.
And I
That's
have
good.
ever
3
since.
nights in a row.
3 nights in a row.
All right. All right. Well, I mean, I wish that there was an easy, on-off switch for the ear ringing, but I think that's just something that you have to deal with, right?
Well, especially people in our business, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's one of it's one of the occupational hazards for what we do. You wear headphones for this length of time.
And
you-
machinists.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. And you got to protect that hearing, and you do the best you can. But at some point, every person in radio that I've known of for any length of time, and I, like you, Ken, I started when I was 15 years old at WTHO, your better country FM, WTWA, your favorite easy listening hits from the 40s to the 80s,
Yes,
the heart
sir.
of Thompson, and 15 years old. So when you got those headphones on for the better part of your life, and you've got them cranked up, and you got them cranked up, and you got them cranked up probably louder than they should be,
Yeah.
and then eventually it comes back to bite you on the tuchus, or in this case, the eardrum.
Yeah. Whenever you walk into the control room and you can hear the headphones better than you can hear the external speakers, somebody before you is going to be having a real issue one of these days.
That's me. I'm right there. Mine are just cranked, baby. Just absolute cranked. I'd be dead right now if they didn't stop smoking in the studios.
Oh, man. Boy, wasn't that fun? Oh, just start your
Y'all
good old...
smoked in here?
Not in here.
But, like, you'd be doing your show.
Oh,
and
brother. When I was working, because I started smoking when I was 15, around the same time that I started in radio. And man, you're doing a weekend shift at WTHO, your better country FM.
Yes, sir.
And you just cranked up some Garth Brooks, rodeo, and damned old rodeo, and and you hit the post. It's 94 degrees in Thompson, Georgia. This is Garth. And boom.
Yeah.
You hit that thing and you turn that microphone off. You take those headphones off and you grab those Marlboro Lights.
Yes, sir. Oh, Cephas, a country boy can survive. Boy, I had me a Marlboro every time I played that song.
Right. Why wouldn't you? I mean,
Yes, sir.
we had I had 4 breaks an hour. I had 4 cigarettes an hour. Job well done, Murphy.
You know what I played whenever I had to go down the hall?
I can guess. Were you country music, Ken?
Yes, sir.
All right. I would say, what era was it?
This would have been 1987.
That's My Job by Conway Twitty.
No, sir.
Okay.
The live version of My Home's in Alabama by Alabama. It was 13 minutes long.
Wow, that's a good one. That's My Job was one of my go-tos, Ken, because it was like 6.5 minutes long.
That song makes me cry.
It does me too. Very sad song. Great song, but
Yes.
very sad. But it was 6.5 minutes long, so you got it because Jackson doesn't understand what we're talking about. Let's take the Wayback Machine.
The Wayback Machine.
Back in the day, do you know what record albums are, Jackson?
Yes,
Okay.
my family has vinyls.
And so there was a time in radio where you played 45s. These were the singles. And, we had albums and you could do an album cut, but for the most part, you had 45s. And, if you went to a commercial break, did you have sequential? Did you use cart machines, Ken? Did y'all use carts?
Well, turntables for the music.
For the music, but for the commercials.
For the commercials, cards.
Yeah, we did carts. Did y'all? See, we didn't even have, when I first started, we didn't even have sequencing in the cart machines. So you had to fire off every cart individually.
On your own.
Yes.
Okay.
But then eventually Mike Wall came in and gave us sequencing, and boy, we were fancy then.
Dude,
Y'all
you
should
were in high
have just
cotton.
looked up the music on YouTube and played your commercials off OpX. Much easier that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair thought.
Or just load the music into the system.
So, bottom line is, Jackson, you lived your life in about 4-minute blocks of time.
Yes, sir.
Most music back then, radio wouldn't let a song go over 4 minutes for the most part.
No.
They didn't believe in it. They said that people lost their attention. I mean, they would make artists. There were some artists that had to, I think it was Billy Joel, Ken. It was Piano Man. Mm-hmm. They made Billy Joel, one of the most famous songs in popular music in the late 1970s, Billy Joel's Piano Man. Music executives made him cut that song down because they said it was too long.
Otherwise, it wasn't going on the radio.
Otherwise, it was not going to go on the radio.
And you needed the radio back then.
Boy, you did. Otherwise, you're not selling any albums.
Yeah.
So, bottom line is, for a DJ, when you're on a 6-hour shift, Jackson, you gotta, sometimes nature calls.
It does. My listeners heard My Home's in Alabama in between 7:10 and 7:30
Every morning.
2 or
That's what
3 times a week.
That's when the old coffee kicked in.
Yes, sir.
Well, I never caught the live version of My Home's in Alabama, but that's my job, was 6.5 minutes long, thereabouts. But you know what? We also did. Mike Wall, the general manager and eventual owner of WTHO, he understood the situation because he came up as a jock.
Yeah.
And he allowed for Lion Eyes by the Eagles.
Oh, yes, sir.
That was almost 7 minutes.
Oh,
So
yes,
you could slip in the Eagles' Lion Eyes, which was just country rock enough to fit.
Yeah.
And you're golden back then. But I used to when I got to college, Ken, I did the morning show on college radio.
Yes,
and
sir.
we were still slinging albums back then too. We were just a college jukebox, and I would put on the live version of Whippin' Post by the Allman Brothers, and I'd drive to McDonald's.
Yeah, what? That's like 17 minutes.
I think it's like 22 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I've told this story before that I'm in the drive-through at McDonald's, and we're about halfway through Whippin' Post, and I hear, sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel. I'm like, ah! There's a car behind me. There's a car ahead of me. Jackson is confused. The record started skipping.
Oh, no. Today's title, I didn't realize was going to have such a profound impact on today's show.
What's today's title on the YouTube side, Jackson?
Same old, and Matt's old. The Murphy Show.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I am old. Ken's old too.
Yeah.
And
No, Ken's a young man.
God willing, you. How dare? Whatever. That's just mean.
Ken, what are you, 29?
27.
Perfect.
Thereabouts.
I'm going to have a rough year.
Right around there.
Sometimes I feel. Sometimes I feel. Oh, it's like, oh man. Yes. Dr. Rhett Turnipseed. His real name. And I had a meeting later on that day where
That was
it was
his real name?
Dr. Rhett Turnipseed was the head of the communications department at the time at West Georgia College. Rhett Turnipseed. And Dr. Turnipseed indicated to me that it was frowned upon for anyone to leave the studio at the radio station for any length of time for any reason whatsoever.
That was frowned upon.
It was frowned upon. And I said, duly noted, Dr. Turnipseed.
And I'm sure you followed that to the.
Oh yeah, that was also the radio. While we're taking this trip down memory lane, that was also I caused the Coca-Cola machine to be replaced in the mass comm department at West Georgia College.
Why?
Because the machine that was in the basement area where the radio station was, I discovered that it was an old school machine, and you could just take your arm and put your arm up in the machine.
Just put it up in there and grab
And just grab it, and you didn't really know. You just kind of had to tip one. If you could get to the can, just kind of hit it, and then one would come out. And it's kind of a
Free soda.
free soda, but you didn't know what you were getting. Mellow Yellow.
And they didn't have cameras back then.
No. But eventually someone realized that we got enough money that people paid for 14 sodas, and we got 120 sodas going. Something's up. Oh, it was a sad day, fellas, when Matt Murphy walked into that radio station and they had replaced it with a brand new shiny soda machine with one of those little flaps on the bottom,
Yeah.
so you couldn't get your arm up in there.
Yeah, they got wise to it.
Dang, coming. It's people like me that ruin it for everybody else.
Matt had to pay his hay penny to get his soda pop. That was back when Coca-Cola had real cocaine in it.
I wished. We had to go to our dealer like everybody else. 22 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This trip down memory lane has been brought to you by somebody or another, and I'm not really sure who. I guess it beats talking about the aftermath of Carmelo Anthony, although we will do so. A lot of strange commentary regarding what was justice, and a very perverted concept of what justice is indeed. We're on a lot of different platforms on the radio side of things. You can find us at 99.7 FM. We're also on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, the SuperTalk app. Take us wherever you go, smartphone or your laptop. Download SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Then, of course, there's Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Go over there, like, subscribe, help us out with the digital platform. It's episode 1054 of The Matt Murphy Show on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Friends, I am proud to note that in just a few short weeks, we will have a fourth location open at Tennessee Men's Clinic. To serve all of you down in the borough, the Tennessee Men's Clinic is opening up a shop down there with the same great service that they've been providing in the other three locations that I've been telling you about for some time. The OG, of course, in 2014, they opened up the shop in Nashville. Then a few years ago in Cool Springs. Before you know it, Clarksville opened. That was last year. And now Murfreesboro is set to open their doors as well. They want to make sure that help is close by. Guys, if you are struggling with energy levels, if you're struggling with an inability to, let's just say, perform in bedroom activities, in intimate settings and moments, it's time to figure out why, and it's time to get back in the game. Let's not pretend that this is 1976. It's not. It's 2026. There are ways for you to get back in the game, but they gotta examine you. They gotta figure out what's going on inside of your body, take a little blood work, figure out where your testosterone levels are, exactly what are we talking about, and how can they help. And there's a myriad of treatments that they can provide to you to assist you and get you off the bench and in the game. Men, let's do this. Let's wait no longer. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or call 615-208-9090. 208-9090 for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Timberland Cabinetry was founded in Middle Tennessee in 2005, and I just discovered them several months ago right in Columbia, Tennessee. I got a tour. Steve, thank you so much if you're listening for the tour that we received throughout the factory, throughout the showroom. It is an absolute incredible, eye-opening experience. They do it all at Timberland Cabinetry from start to finish. They make them all in Columbia. I love the hard work that they put into the high-quality kitchen and bathroom cabinets that they produce right here in Middle Tennessee. It's wonderful because they ship all over the United States of America and really all over this hemisphere, right? But we get the benefit of being right here in Middle Tennessee, so you get the cost benefit of not having that shipping component. Plus, they serve homeowners, home builders, remodelers, dealers across the United States of America. The beauty and the functionality of these cabinets are incredible, and you'll see them in the showroom. Their professionals will work with you to make sure that all of your needs are met, that you get every outcome that you're aiming for, that it is exactly what you're looking for in terms of the heartbeat of your home, and that is truly your kitchen. Bathrooms as well. Call 931-499-7170. Talk to Deb. She's likely to answer the phone. Deb and her team will get you into the showroom in Columbia or in Franklin, and they will help assist you in figuring out exactly what you want to do to upgrade that kitchen, to upgrade that bathroom today. 931-499-7170 for Timberland Cabinets.
Trump administration cracking down on hospital pricing, sending warning letters to more than 500 facilities across the nation, including some here in Middle Tennessee. We've got that story and more at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jumping into the aftermath of the Carmelo Anthony verdict, which was rightly decided, as anyone who has followed the trial would know. However, lots of different opinions, a lot of lively opinions late in the show yesterday. If you missed some of the show yesterday, we had a couple of lively callers, to include D'Angelo and others, who were taking exception with my analysis of the situation as it existed out in Texas, in McKinney, Texas. We've got that coming up. By the way, the Jackson Brigade is alive and well on the Super Text line. Have you seen this, Jackson? 1630. Matt's so old, the dollar store was the nickel store when he was a kid. Isn't that funny? That's good. You like that?
I do.
I'm glad your buddies are listening to the show.
Nickel store.
Dollar store was the nickel store. He's so old. Yeah. There's a lot of those out there. It's hot outside, y'all.
Oh,
What's the real feels?
Oh, stop it.
You want me to read it?
Yes.
No.
I got to go with what the host says, Brother Jackson.
Ken, you don't listen to him. You read those real feels right now.
It says,
What is the temperature, Ken?
the real temperature, boys, is 91 degrees.
That's what it feels like to me out there.
Relative humidity is 49%. The heat index is 96. So it feels like 96, but it's really only 91.
Man, I'm just such an odd cat because if you say to me, hey, it's 91, the heat index is 96, that does not trigger me the way that the other thing does.
Real feels.
Stop. Why are you telling me how I feel about it? I feel great. It feels 82 to me. How about that?
That's that libertarian in Brother Murphy, right?
Actually, it feels about 68.
Don't
It's
tell
pretty
him.
cold in the studio.
Nick has written in and says, Matt's so old, his license plate is 1.
Matt's so old, back in his day, they called the Old Testament the Testament.
Oh, hey, Matt wants to go to break on time. It's 31 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes, and the Trump administration's cracking down on hospital pricing, sending warning letters out to more than 500 facilities across the nation, including some here in Middle Tennessee. Locally, warnings were issued to Ascension St. Thomas Midtown, Trousdale Medical Center in Hartsville, Sumner Regional in Gallatin, while Williamson Medical Center and a specialty St. Thomas facility in Nashville face stricter compliance requirements. Hospitals that don't fix the issue risk penalties reaching $2 million per year per the Trump administration. Today, President Trump signed a bill to fund ICE and Border Patrol for the remainder of his term. This bill and its $70 billion price tag narrowly passing both chambers of Congress Well, Karen Travers says during the Q&A with reporters, Trump said the U.S. is going to be hitting targets in Iran again tonight.
He also talked about the status of negotiations with Iran and where things stand right now on a deal. And the president was very optimistic about the state of play at this point, and at one point said that a deal is fully negotiated, that all Iran has to do at this point is just sign off on it.
A new report finds Tennessee continues to struggle with high bankruptcy rates. More than 21,000 people filed over the past year, according to News 2. That marks an increase from 2025. The state ranks third nationwide when adjusted for population, behind only Alabama and Mississippi. Researchers point to financial hardships like unemployment, divorce, and medical bills. Inflation's at its highest level in 3 years, 4.2%. And Stephen Cates at Bankrate telling ABC News the Fed may need to raise interest rates.
The Fed needs to take inflation seriously. We obviously had very good jobs numbers come out last Friday. We've had 3 straight months of positive payrolls growth. That's the first time in a year. And that's something that puts the balance of risk squarely on inflation. If the Fed doesn't take inflation seriously, expectations of, again, continuing rising inflation is going to be something that gets baked in.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Well, the interstates are not clear anymore. Right now, we've got a crash blocking the left lane over the eastern split, going 40 westbound at exit 213A. In Madison, a crash on the off-ramp, 65 southbound to Briley Parkway. Murfreesboro, a crash, right shoulder block, 24 westbound at Old Fort Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Friends, if your concern is fleas or ticks, and I've mentioned my tick bite that I had Saturday, and I mentioned that I'm calling my good friends JK and Erica Brister over at US Pest and getting one of their fine folks out to check it out and to give me a home treatment, a yard treatment. They can do that for you as well. Flea and tick treatments available with US Pest. They also do everything for inside of the home to make sure that everything is covered on that end too. If you've noticed bugs, let me promise you something. If you see one, there's a lot more where that one came from. And you need to eliminate this jiffy quick. If you're not satisfied with your current pest control treatment, or if you don't have any, my goodness, get US Pest on your team. And that's truly what they are. They are teammates to solve the problem of pests. Obviously, termites are a serious issue that can threaten your home. Pests and bugs can threaten your health. We need to stop all of it with a telephone call to US Pest. 590-1260 is the number, 590-1260, or online at uspest.com. When you see the beautiful billboards flying with US Pest, you'll see the beautiful American flag flying above. Why? Because they love America and they hate bugs at US Pest. The Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project is an amazing charitable organization doing tremendous good for our veterans. The Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project supports the return, the rehabilitation, and the reintegration of our returning vets. We have over 22 suicides a day. It's a sad testimony to the mental wellness, which is a critical issue for our heroes that have served their country so admirably. To quote Charlie Daniels, the only thing that protects us from evil is God Almighty and the United States military. We invite you to donate today, and I'll give you that website in just a moment. But also now, the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project has teamed together with Shield 616. They are to provide advanced body armor to Wilson County and the Sheriff's Department there. They're so excited about this partnership, and I am as well. Shield 616 provides advanced ballistic vests to the Wilson County Sheriff's Department. They did so during a special event May 26th. Now they're raising money to help the SROs of Wilson County, with the expectation that we'll expand this to more counties when money comes available, and when time after Wilson County, it's expanding to your county perhaps as well. They wish America a happy 250th birthday, and we thank you for supporting the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. Go to thejourneyhomeproject.org. That's thejourneyhomeproject.org. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Hey, Jackson, I figured I was going to do some He's So Old jokes, but I figured, hey, give me a little audio video. I figured, why should I do the He's So Old jokes when, well, the master could do it?
I tell you, I can't relax. My kid drives me nuts. The other day I told him, I says, you're young, you don't have it upstairs. He told me I'm old, I don't have it downstairs. Old, Johnny. I told my wife I want to die in bed. She said, again? I mean, I'm getting old. I'm not a kid anymore. I know I'm getting old. In Vegas, I played a slot machine. 3 prunes came up. I know I'm getting old. I'm at the age now, if I hear someone goes both ways, I figure it's number 1 and number 2. You know? I'm getting older, Johnny. I'm getting old. You kidding? I took a vacation, went to Mexico. I got the walks.
The walks!
I can't get girls anymore. You kidding?
Tough, huh?
Now, at my age, you become a hooky. Oh, you kidding? My age, to me, the daily double is prune juice and an enema. My last birthday cake, I couldn't blow out the candles. The heat drove me back. Now, you get older, it's tough to get girls. Tough, I tell you, John. Then the best thing to be is bisexual. Then you got a shot at everybody. Oh, I know I'm getting old. If I squeeze into a parking place, I'm sexually satisfied. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm getting old. Yeah. I know I'm getting old. Well, my last birthday cake looked like a prairie fire. You know how it is. I know I'm getting old. At my age, I want 2 girls at once, you know. Yeah, if I fall asleep, they got each other to talk to.
That's a little age humor from the master, Rodney Dangerfield.
Master, dude.
He's my second favorite.
Oh.
Rodney was my first. Norm Macdonald is my favorite comedian of all time. Rodney is my second favorite. Dusty Slay, if you're listening, you're my third favorite.
Dude, I watch Dusty Slay videos all
the time, brother. Oh my goodness. I think I mentioned this on the X Machine at Matt Murphy Show. That I watched when it first came out. I watched Working Man. Yes. And he's got Working Man, now he's got Wet Heat. And I rewatched Working Man a couple of weeks ago, and it is funnier the second time around, y'all. It is so good. Y'all need to watch. I think Dusty just had one of his. Didn't he have one of his comedy shows? I think so. Out at Zany's, his grand old comedy show.
Pretty recent.
Yeah, it was pretty recently because I invited him on, and he's big timing us. You know how it goes. Ken.
He's big time now, dude.
I'm telling you what. I think he's a big time movie star. I want to believe that he was in The Breadwinner. I don't know.
Man, he's funny.
I know his butt. Hey, he's good.
We got to get him back in here.
Yeah, we do. He's so good. All right, 615-737-9986. If you'd like to be a part of the show, we invite you to do so. So, I don't know what to tell you except that apparently justice does not mean what justice once meant. I fully understand, and I don't pretend that I can walk the walk because I've not lived in anyone else's shoes. I've not walked in anyone else's path, and I don't pretend that I have. And I don't deal in groupthink in the way that some do. where we're going to assume and or stereotype that if you're white, you're this, if you're black, you're that.
The heat index is well into the triple digits in some spots.
Was that me? No, that was you.
Nope, it was Ken.
Oh, well, then that's okay.
Sorry about that, boys.
That's all good.
I couldn't hear.
Justice. I'm not going to pretend that there was not a time when justice was not blind. I have said for a while now that there was a time when justice very much dealt in America in black and white. And you are denying reality. And I'm not blaming anyone in 2026. I'm not suggesting that any one of us had any part in any of this. But historically, we are denying reality if you suggest that black people had a very difficult time, especially in the southeastern United States of America, getting the same equitable justice as white America received back in the day. But those times have long since passed. We have corrected the sins of those past incidents. Or at least we attempt to do so in a way that creates a blind nature of justice. But I feel like Al Pacino in The Godfather Part 3, every time we try to get out, they just drag us back in. And it seems to me that each time we have a discussion about a major incident involving someone who is not black and someone who is black, and primarily someone who is white and someone who is black, we have to have these conversations about race in America. And I listen to these folks on the political left, or these race baiters on television, the talking head race baiters, and they tell us all the time, we need to have a discussion about race in America. We need to have a real discussion about race in America. Remember in the summer of love in 2020, in the aftermath of the George Floyd situation and the ensuing riots that occurred? We have to have a conversation about race in America. Remember Ferguson, Missouri? Michael Brown? Hands up, don't shoot. We have to have a conversation about race in America. And on it goes. Race in America. And I'm here. And I'm ready, willing, and able to have that conversation about race in America. But the people that are saying we need to have a conversation about race in America, they don't want to have a conversation about race. They want you to agree with them, period. They don't want you to have your own perspective, and they believe, many of them, that if you have any perspective other than their own, then you are racist. Which, ironically, in and of itself, is racist, or at very least bigoted. I understand some of the scar tissue left over from the distant American past. But that does not excuse being either ignorant to the facts or willingly obtuse to the facts of this individual case. And going to the lengths that some went to yesterday to try to excuse the behavior of Carmelo Anthony. Oh, you don't get to tell him where to be or what to do. What planet are you living on that you don't get to tell him that he is in the wrong place if he's in the wrong place and he needs to go back to where he's supposed to be at this track meet? And how in the hell, even if I concede the point to you, which I don't, how in the hell does that justify stabbing someone in the chest with a knife? Well, he was in fear for his life. Well, which is it? Was he standing his ground and saying, no, you don't get to tell me what to do? Or was he fearful for his life? Now, I'm not here to tell all of you this because most people sit and look at the facts of the case and they recognize this. I do feel sad for many of the people who were standing outside of the courtroom yesterday that were expecting some form of a different outcome, because those individuals have been led by others that know better. There are plenty of individuals on network television that know better when it comes to this case, but they have decided that everything must be viewed through the lens of he's black, you're white, he's white, you're black. And then it becomes a game of whataboutism. What about this case? What about that case? What about this situation? What about that situation? We're not talking about those things. We're talking about the facts of this case. I am far less concerned with Carmelo Anthony than I am the family of Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf, we can debate whether 35 years was appropriate till the cows come home. It doesn't change the fact that Austin Metcalf is never coming home because he is dead. And the individual responsible for that death was held accountable yesterday, which is justice. What would you, and this conversation and this angle regarding the jury is perhaps the most maddening aspect of all of it. Because I've heard some go so far, well, number one, the number of people that were claiming that it was a white jury, I just have to roll my eyes. Because those people, I told you yesterday, Jackson Williams was here. He heard me say it. Anyone that you hear referring to the jury as a white jury, you know that those people do not know what they're talking about. Work to have the basic facts of the case in front of them, because it was not a whites-only jury. And there were plenty of African Americans that had an opportunity to be seated on that jury, and sadly, many of those African Americans disqualified themselves. I say sadly, they were honest. At least one African American juror said the quiet part out loud, said, I don't think I can put a brother in jail. Okay, well then, if you are prejudiced before you hear the case, then you don't get to sit on the jury. I have heard some, perhaps more legitimate suggestions that it was the defense goal all along to seat a non-black jury so as to have an appeal in their hip pocket. Maybe. But those that buy into this narrative are buying in to the basic concept that I, as an individual, because of the color of my skin, do not have an ability to sit as a peer in judgment of the facts of a case and ultimately in judgment of the defendant in the case because the defendant has a different color than me. That goes against the very fabric of judging someone based on the content of their character, based on their actions, as opposed to conditions of their birth of which they had no control. It goes against the very fabric of what we hope to achieve, what we worked to achieve in the 1940s, in the 1950s, in the 1960s, where there was not equal treatment under the law. We worked to achieve equal treatment under the law. And now the same group of people, not the same, I suppose, African-American people are largely arguing that they can't get equal treatment if there are white people on their jury? What kind of new bigotry is this? If you downshift into an argument by which you say, well, Matt, you don't have the same lived experience as me. Well, you don't have the same lived experience as me. And other white people don't have the same lived experience as me. And to suggest otherwise is bigoted in and of itself. Some people have fallen into this trap of white privilege to suggest that every white person on planet Earth. Remember when Eddie Murphy did this great spoof on white privilege long before we knew what white privilege was? Where he was on Saturday Night Live. You remember that? I think it was called White Like Me. Where Eddie Murphy decided to get made up as a white guy and go out as a white guy. And the premise was, if you're white in America, you get everything handed to you on a silver platter. And it was a satire of that basic concept, that basic prejudice. I push back against this idea that I'm a part of any group. And I try to recognize where my blind spots are for me. For me, not for anyone else. But this suggestion that we have to have some sort of quota system for juries now is in and of itself at least prejudiced and at worst bigoted or racist. 52 after the hour. Take your thoughts on the matter coming up in a moment. Plus, we did not get to the Belfast beheading, and it is a tragedy to say the least. It is a tragedy what is happening in the United Kingdom with regard to their open borders policy and allowing people to engage in their own cultural norms in the midst of killing other people, or at least attempting to. We'll discuss that as well on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy here for King & Associates Insurance. Your home and your automobile, two of your biggest investments. And at King & Associates Insurance, we protect both with coverage that fits your life and your budget. Whether you're a first-time homeowner, growing family, just shopping for better automobile rates, they make it so simple. I did this with my family. When I moved into the home in Mount Pleasant, called up Emory at King & Associates, said, Emory, you got to get me some homeowners. Emory said, let me get you some auto, too. I said, Emory, I think I'm fine with auto. Emory said, I bet you're not. Emory was right. Murphy was wrong. Honest advice, personalized service, and policies that make sense and save you a lot of money, which is what happened with us. Local, independent, and they work for you, not the big insurance companies. Call the number 329-8121. That's in 615-329-8121, or letter T, kinginsurance.com. kinginsurance.com for King & Associates Insurance. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Cover Nash wants you to know one simple thing. Shane Ring at Cover Nash wants you to know one simple thing. If you're dealing with somebody in the health insurance industry and they start talking to you about open enrollment, you need to walk. You need to move on from that. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Stand by. Pardon me. I had to sneeze right in the middle of my Cover Nash commercial. Shane Ring perhaps cannot help me with my sneeze. Well, actually, you know what? He does, by extension, help me with my sneeze because he helped me with my health insurance. And in helping me with my health insurance, I know that I can get to a place where if I need assistance, I can get it. You don't have to play by Washington's rules. Shane Ring at Cover Nash can help you cut your costs, in some cases by 60%. I mean, and we're talking keeping your doctor, keeping your hospital, keeping your same coverage, but cutting those costs, skipping the government red tape. If you're currently self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, let Shane go over your policy with you and explain to you what you can and cannot do. Find out if you're in the right place, or find out if you can do better with Shane Ring and Cover Nash. He is your personal healthcare concierge. Real health coverage on your terms, not the government's. Call today, 615-465-0023, 465-0023, coverdash.com, coverdash.com.
Several Middle Tennessee hospitals put on notice by the Trump administration over pricing. We'll tell you about it coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Let Ricky know that I do not have quite the time to get to him. I've only got about a minute left in this hour of the show. I mean, actually, the music's playing right now. But, Ricky, I'll get to you first up on the Matt Murphy Show coming up in a moment. Your calls as well, 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Poor has no race. That is the truth. Matt, black and white animosity is way overblown by the media and the politicians. I have a great story about the Summer of Love in 2020 that I'll relate to you. I've told this story in the past where I took a motorcycle trip trying to get back to kind of real America, and I didn't see any of it. You know, CNN was screaming race war, and I didn't see any of that. I saw people getting after it. I would agree with you. I'm kind of over it myself. I don't think most people deal in these ways. I just don't think they do in their daily lives, but it merits discussion. And, you know, I get told I want to talk about race. I'm here for it. It is 4 o'clock.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the Trump administration is putting several Middle Tennessee hospitals on notice for failing to properly disclose health care prices. Among them, Ascension St. Thomas Midtown in Nashville and Sumner Regional Medical Center in Gallatin received warning notices, while Williamson Medical Center in Franklin and St. Thomas Hospital for Specialty Surgery are being told to submit plans to correct the problem by the Trump administration. Hospitals that ignore the mandate could face fines of up to $2 million per year. Also in Nashville, Metro Nashville filing another lawsuit to stop the state's second attempt to take over its airport authority board. The state says that the Nashville airport is used by everyone in the state. It affects the entire state's economy and transportation. Therefore, the governor and leading state lawmakers should appoint members to the board. Well, Mayor Freddie O'Connell says previous court rulings favored Metro and believes the new law again violates federal protections. Immigration at war with Iran. Karen Travers says after President Trump signed a bill that funds ICE and Border Patrol for the rest of his term, he said the U.S. is going to start attacking Iran again.
The big headline there was the president saying that there would be more strikes coming today. He noted that the United States had hit Iran yesterday in retaliation for that takedown of the Apache helicopter earlier this week. He said we hit them hard yesterday and indicated that the U.S. would be hitting them hard again today.
What about the latest inflation report showing 4.2% fueled by energy costs caused by the war?
I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, you know, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now.
News 2 says a new report finds Tennessee continues to struggle with high bankruptcy rates. More than 21,000 people filed over the past year, marking an increase from 2025. The state ranks third nationwide when adjusted for population, behind only Alabama and Mississippi. Researchers point to financial hardships like unemployment, divorce, and medical bills as major factors. Metro Council members advancing a temporary block on new data center development in Nashville. This ordinance would halt zoning and building approvals as leaders consider new regulations. It has to pass 2 more readings. And Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates appearing on Capitol Hill today to testify before the House Oversight Committee about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. He's not the only high-profile person being called on to testify, as we hear from ABC's Peter Haralambous.
Sources say he's largely cooperative, answering questions during this interview, calling his entire relationship with Epstein a, quote, grave error in judgment. Along the way, though, he tried to explain why he began to know Epstein, basically saying that he thought Epstein's wealthy clients could help support his philanthropy work, including his work with the Gates Foundation.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we've got crashes. 24 eastbound before Briley Parkway South. In Franklin, a crash on the right shoulder, 65 southbound at I-840. Over by the airport, Murfreesboro Pike west of Curbit Drive. And the eastern split, you've got the left lane blocked by a crash. That'll be 40 westbound there at exit 213A. Tucker's Crossroad in Wilson County, a crash. 40 eastbound at Linwood. In Madison, a crash. Off-ramp partially blocked. 65 southbound to Briley Parkway. And in Murfreesboro, a crash. Right shoulder blocked. 24 westbound at Old Fort Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy, The Matt Murphy Show. It is hour number 2. Thank you for being with us. 4:07 to be precise. We're found on 99.7 FM from Kentucky to Alabama and all points in between. You can also find us on a variety of online platforms such as 997WTN.com. That is our kind of our online internet home. All things there, podcast and all sorts of streaming opportunities like TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart. We have our own app. Dial us up at Supertalk 99.7 WTN and take us wherever you'd like to go. And then, of course, Talk TV. Do us a favor and like and subscribe. You know, I haven't gotten a rate card. Is Ken Weaver back there in News Closet B? Is he? No, we got to get a rate card from Ken Weaver because liking and subscribing used to cost absolutely nothing. I don't know what it's costing nowadays. Ken was gone for a little bit last week. He's back now. I think he's not up to full song, but he's getting there.
I started charging.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. How much is it costing, Jackson?
A lot.
Absolutely something, boys. Yeah. That's my Ken Weaver. You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said Ken sounds like Ken Weaver's trying to imitate Bill Clinton. He's got a little gravelly in his voice. You know how that goes.
It's got a little gravitas.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Ms. Lewinsky. Anyway, 615-737-9986. 4460 says, as I turn 50 today, happy birthday, now you're 1 year older. Happy birthday, da-da-da-da-da-da. Could you please ask Y2J if I'm now considered seasoned like Matt and Brother Ken? Also, this is pretty funny, actually. I should just read it straight. 4460. As I turn 50 today, can you ask Y2J if I'm now considered seasoned like Matt and Brother Ken? Also, my real feels is 58. Fair.
Means he really feels like he's...
I get it.
That would make him slightly seasoned. Not like you, but...
I get what he did there, though. I get what he did there. Jackson is 26, going on... Know what I mean?
Because you're going to strangle me.
Yeah, there you go. You're so old that fraudsters took you off the voter rolls so the Democrats wouldn't get suspicious. Hi-yo. I agree with you. Racism is actually absolutely ridiculous in 2026. As a black man, racism is definitely kept alive by the people, my people, which is disgusting. I don't see color in either of these cases, although they do seem similar to me. Just wanted to see how consistent you were since you said your opinions are based on fact. And this is the same person. 2133 asked me, did you feel the same way about Kyle Rittenhouse being somewhere he wasn't supposed to be? Well, Kyle Rittenhouse was asked by private property owners to assist them in attempting to protect their private property from looting during a summer where looting and rioting was running rampant in that part of the country. So Kyle Rittenhouse was assaulted and Kyle Rittenhouse was hunted, and he was responding to a direct threat against his life. I think he had an opportunity to make his case before a jury of his peers, and he chose to testify in his own defense and claim self-defense, something that Mr. Anthony did not do. He chose to not take the stand. And then 2133 goes on to say, so you excuse him from being underage with a firearm? You said you look at the facts, right? Both were somewhere they shouldn't have been. Both were approached. No. I did not concede that Kyle Rittenhouse was somewhere that he should not have been. Both were approached by people that didn't want them there. No. So you're conflating two very, very different situations. Kyle Rittenhouse was threatened on the street of Kenosha. Was that Kenosha, Wisconsin? I want to say that.
Yes.
Yeah, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kyle Rittenhouse was threatened on the streets of Kenosha and would have been killed by video evidence. Would have been killed had he not decided to take the life of the individual that was threatening him. He was on his back when he fired that fatal shot. So I'm not excusing. And I don't. You tell me where testimony got into evidence that Anthony was invited under the tent. He was asked to leave by no less than 10, as many as 15 separate occasions was asked to leave the tent. And he refused to do so. None of that matters. It is established as fact that Metcalf pushed Anthony. That doesn't matter either. Anthony then chose to take a deadly weapon out of his backpack and stab Austin Metcalf and killed him. And that has to have consequences. He did not establish, and oh, by the way, if they had wanted to establish that he had acted in self-defense, the best way to do that would have been to put Carmelo Anthony on the stand, and the only way that you are going to convince a jury what your mindset would be to tell the jury what your mindset was. And you can't have it both ways. You can't have it that Anthony demanded to get to stay and that nobody got to tell him what to do, and simultaneously he was in fear for his life. Even the defense's own witness recanted the idea or backed off of the idea that he was, quote unquote, surrounded by individuals. And the defense's own witness admitted that he was asked repeatedly to leave the tent, a place that he did not belong. A tented area in an enclosed environment is decidedly different than on the city streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin, attempting to defend property that the property owner asked you to help them defend in a night of violence and looting. I just think you're comparing apples and oranges when you're attempting to compare the two cases. But I mean, I'm here for it. Ricky is next. He's here for it as well. Thank you, Ricky, for the call, and thank you for waiting.
Yeah, man, I think I've got a solution to the race problems in our nation.
Well, we've been waiting on that, Ricky.
Oh, I know. I think you need to get the movers and shakers on both sides together, lock them in a room, and force them to watch reruns of Sanford and Son, Good Times, All in the Family, and some of those other sitcoms that we used to watch and look at, because I think we're taking each other too seriously for the most part.
You know, I mean, perhaps I'm as guilty as anyone of focusing on the negative and not recognizing that in the vast majority of cases there is positivity and there is racial harmony more so than we perhaps have ever seen in the United States of America. Maybe I'm guilty of that too, Ricky, but I think your point is valid. Go ahead.
Well, the point I like to use, and it's more geographical and cultural, but I grew up watching the Beverly Hillbillies. And, of course, you know, I'm a hick. I'm a hillbilly. But we laughed at them. We laughed at ourselves, even though we couldn't relate with everything that they, portrayed in that television program. So I just think we're taking each other too seriously. We're too on edge.
Yeah.
We're looking for something,
to
disagree about.
Well, I mean, the people on TV certainly are. And maybe I'm being sucked into that narrative. Ricky, big question, though, is when you're watching the Beverly Hillbillies, did it make you want a cement pond?
Well, I never even thought about that, to be honest.
I wanted a cement pond bad when I was a kid watching the Beverly Hillbillies.
I remember the episode where the hippopotamus was in it, and they thought that was some hog. Wouldn't you like to have had a hog that big?
I was thinking of the one where my buddy Jay St. Clair, who's on with me on Fridays, and I talk about the episode where Uncle Jed gets invited to go shoot golfs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, them golfs. They must be tough. You shoot them.
With Leo DeRocher.
That's right. You shoot them, and you, what is it? You shoot them, and you club them, and then you stomp on them with spikes. Doggy. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to thank you, Rick. I can't wait to tangle with some of them golfs. You better watch. Golfs will get in the hole, and then you can't get them. Mr. DeRocher said that he shot. What does he say? Mr. DeRocher said he shot 72 of them. Well, Mr. Drysdale needs to catch up. He said he shot 67. Woo! I can't wait to tangle with some of those golfs. Shooting golfs. Beverly Hillbillies. Bunch of hicks. 615-737-9986. In the aftermath of the storyline surrounding Carmelo Anthony, and I'll just mention this and move on from it, Cardi B, esteemed philosopher and social media commentator, Cardi B, has weighed in, and I know we were all waiting on it, and has stated unequivocally, easy for me to say, in the aftermath of the jury finding that it was wrong. By now we know that a Collin County jury deliberated for about 3 hours before reaching their unanimous verdict. They found him guilty of murder. Cardi B has stated on her social media post on X, "Wow, just freaking wow, disgusting. This is not justice. This is trying to make an example." Yes, ma'am. The example that is being set is that if you stab someone in the chest and kill them in cold blood, that you will be held accountable on some level for doing so. Just today, we see that Carmelo Anthony's team has filed an appeal. No question that the appeal will be, at least in part, based on the makeup of the jury, amongst other factors. I don't expect any outcome outside of what we have seen. He was sentenced yesterday to 35 years in prison. I know some have suggested that that's not long enough, considering that he could get out within 20 years. He's 19, so that would mean that he would be out before his 40th birthday. And obviously, Austin Metcalf will never have an opportunity to celebrate his 40th birthday. That's clear. One way or the other, that's up to the judge in the case. 35 years is better than, well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. Some wanted to see life in prison. Some even wanted to suggest that the death penalty was the only appropriate punishment. And I can understand those sentiments. Take a life and you give a life. And he's not even going to give life. He will probably eventually serve. If I had any guess, I would bet that he would be paroled out within less than 20 years. 615-737-9986. Greg is next. Hey, Greg, what's up?
Hey, how are y'all?
I'm doing well, Greg. Thank you.
And, Granny used to cook the Gulf eggs.
That's true. That's right.
She did. She got those Gulf eggs and tried to boil them, and she said, "Man, these are the toughest things."
She boiled them for over an hour. Couldn't crack them.
Yeah, she did. And when they were first moving, Jed said, "You're going to love it. They got smog there." And they said, "Near as we can figure, it's small hogs." And
so
when they first moved into the house, in the kitchen sink, the faucet, she was going, "I don't know how this sideways pump works." And she's just yanking it left and right.
That's awesome. Trying to get it to go.
Yeah, and they put wood in the oven and all that. But anywho, I thought about the Gulf eggs, and I enjoy y'all's show.
Well, thank you, Greg.
Way.
I was, for some reason, we watched Beverly Hillbillies, TBS, right? When I was growing up, you get home in the afternoon after school, TBS was on, Turner Broadcasting System. They played Beverly Hillbillies a lot. They played Andy Griffith a lot. We got Gilligan's Island. We got Leave It to Beaver. Over the years, they would change them out, and you would get, occasionally you'd get something like a Petticoat Junction. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
I freaking love Green Acres.
Green Acres. Oh, that Zsa Zsa. Was it Zsa Zsa?
That was...
Or Eva?
I think that was Eva. I think that was Eva Gabor. Yeah, Eva Gabor, I think, played Lisa.
Mr. Douglas!
Mr. Douglas, have I got a deal for you?
That's awesome. Was that Mr. Drucker? No, that was
Mr. Haney.
That was Mr. Haney. Mr. Drucker was at the general store, right?
Yeah,
he was the bald fella.
Yeah, and Mr. Douglas was the only one in town who couldn't understand what Arnold the pig was saying.
Old Arnold.
Even Lisa knew what Arnold was saying.
Ebb. Remember Ebb?
Remember he'd watch Gunsmoke.
Arnold would?
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, I mean, farm living was the life for him.
It sure was.
Land stretching out so far and wide. Forget Manhattan. Give me that countryside.
Yes, sir.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I didn't understand for the life. I was a kid. I didn't understand for the life of me why they had to climb that light pole that electrical line to use the telephone. I'm like, what? What are they doing?
Well, remember he had to leave his bedroom. He had to leave his bedroom by going out the window.
I forgot about that. Oh, man, oh, man. 615-737-9986. It is 22 past on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for The Glock Store. The Glock Store is your one-stop shop for all things shooting, and they have the best place to do it. One-on-one trading with private instructors in professional rooms, never lanes at the Glock Store. The Shoot 270 way is the only way to go. And Father's Day is right around the corner, and the Glock Store wants to remind you, if you've got a dad in your life that wants something special, what about a range session at the Glock Store? They have gift certificates available in any denomination. You can stop by and you can grab one of those, and you can specify it's for, a training session, one-on-one training in a private shooting room with a professional instructor or whatever you might want. If your dad wants to do something else with that gift certificate, well, then by all means, they can do that as well. They can buy accessories. They can buy magazines. They can buy different clothing options, gun-friendly clothing options at the Glock Store. Anything you're looking for Dad, you can find it at the one and only Glock Store. Go to GlockStore.com. That's GlockStore.com. Easy. Within the sound of my voice, they're just minutes away from the airport. Worth the drive from anywhere. You head over to Briley Parkway. Before you know it, you're on Elm Hill Pike. You get off of Elm Hill Pike. Before you know it, you're on Air Lane Drive. And then you're at the Glock Store. GlockStore.com online.
Pretty good for a farm boy, isn't it? Paid for by John Rose for governor.
You know, sad to say, but in Middle Tennessee, break-ins occur every single day, and you need to protect yourself from those break-ins. One of the ways that you do that, well, you protect yourself through the Second Amendment. The other way that you do that is you protect yourself with a quality safe from Nashville Safe House. With gold and silver prices at record increasing, specific to the desire to find your gold, find your silver in your home. And at Nashville Safe House, they have customers coming in all the time talking about neighborhood break-ins. And sadly, some of those customers have had it happen to themselves. That's the last thing that they want at Nashville Safe House. They have the best selection of safes in Middle Tennessee, the only dealer of Fort Knox safes in the area. They've got Browning, one of the best brands around. They got all kind of fire ratings. They have more safes than you can imagine. In their showroom alone, about 200 safes and another 400 in their warehouse. Why? Because they want to make sure they have the safe for you. Gun safes are always sales tax free at Nashville Safe House. Go see Mark, Jill, the rest of the team at Nashville Safe House. You'll be happy you did. Online, NashvilleSafeHouse.com. 4th Avenue South in Nashville, across from City Cemetery. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just gave an update on Iran. We'll let you hear what he says coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food and up through the ground, bubbling crude.
Oil, that is. Black gold. Texas tea.
Texas tea.
Well, the first thing you know, Ken, Jed's a millionaire.
Move away from there.
Well, they loaded up the truck
And then
moved to Beverly. Mm-hmm. Movie stars. Oh, yeah. Jackson, how many of those episodes of Beverly Hillbillies have you seen, buddy?
Not a one.
Come on, Jackson. That's good living. Greg apparently wasn't done talking about Beverly Hillbillies, and Greg wants back on the radio. Greg, I'm sorry. It was a premature, a premature caller ejection. My apologies.
No, that's okay. Hey, the fancy eating table.
Oh yeah, the pool table.
Yeah, the pool table.
Well, they had the sticks where you could pass the pots around with the sticks.
Yeah, the pot passing stick.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, and one thing, Jed invited Milburn Drysdale to dinner one night, and Milburn said, "What are you having?" And he said, "We're having possum innards and gopher grapes." and Drysdale said, "No, I don't think tonight." He said, "Maybe tomorrow night. What are y'all having then?" And he said, "Leftovers." He said, "That's the thing about possum innards. That's the thing about possum innards and gopher gravy. They're better the second day."
Better the second time around. I love it. Absolutely love
and
it.
In closing, I think Jethro wanted to be an actor at one time, and he came up with different names. And I think one of his actor possibility names was Bolt Upright.
I forgot.
Hey, guys, thank you for
Thank you,
what you do. I'll let
Greg.
you get back to it.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Bolt Upright.
I've seen their car.
What, the jalopy?
Yeah.
Where'd you see that?
It was in Gatlinburg.
Really?
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Gatlinburg?
The
There,
Star Cars Museum.
Oh, they got a bunch of different...
Remember, Granny sat up top in a rocking chair.
She sure did. Sure did. Mr. Drysdale. Miss Hathaway. Remember Miss Hathaway?
Yeah, I had a big crush on Jethro.
Oh, loved her some Jethro Bodine. But yeah, I used to do a pretty good Miss Hathaway impersonation. You want to hear it?
Yes.
But Chief! But Chief! She called Mr. Drysdale Chief.
Yes. How many times was Ernest Tubb on there? Ernest Tubb was on there a lot.
See, I didn't watch as much Beverly Hillbillies as I watched Andy Griffith. And I know Ernest Tubb was on Andy Griffith, but he was floating, right? He was floating between the different shows. I don't know. That's pretty good.
Beverly.
Aubrey wants to talk about Green Acres. And, actually, Aubrey, I'm out of time. Hold on a second. We'll get to you in a moment. Matthew wants to talk about the murder, or murder, generally speaking. Stephen wants to discuss race, and Aubrey wants to talk about Green Acres. And I don't feel like you're going to get an eclectic mix of telephone callers anywhere else in the United States of America than right here. For better or worse, it's 30 after the hour, the bottom of the hour. We call it on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And moments ago, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth gave an update on Iran.
CENTCOM, Central Command, will be busy tonight because President Trump said we will be hitting Iran hard, and we will be. Because Iran has a chance to make a good deal, a great deal, to codify what they said they've been willing to do, and they haven't been willing to do it.
Hegseth speaking from CENTCOM at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. A new Trump administration push for healthcare price transparency is hitting close to home, with multiple Middle Tennessee hospitals receiving warnings. Ascension St. Thomas Midtown, Sumner Regional Medical Center, Trousdale Medical Center were flagged, while Williamson Medical Center and a Nashville Specialty Hospital must take corrective action. Leaders say patients deserve to know the cost of services before receiving care. And if hospitals fail to comply, the Trump administration says they could be fined millions of dollars each year. Nashville's mayor, Freddie O'Connell, heading back to court to block a new state law aimed at taking over the Airport Authority Board. This comes after Metro already won once in court, with the earlier case still pending before the state Supreme Court. State lawmakers say the governor and legislative leaders should have appointment power since the airport is tied to the entire state's economy and transportation system. And Metro Council members advancing a temporary block on new data center development in Nashville. An ordinance would halt zoning and building approvals as leaders consider new regulations. It has already passed one reading. It has to get past two more. And inflation's at 4.2%, highest in 3 years due to the war in Iran. Steve Cates at Bankrate telling ABC News.
I think that we may start to settle into a bit of a high level, higher for longer here. So I don't think that we're necessarily going to keep accelerating at this pace, but we're going to have inflation that's elevated for the duration of this conflict.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, let's tell you where the crashes are right now. In Franklin, 65 southbound off-ramp to I-840. Tucker's Crossroads in Wilson County, 40 eastbound at Linwood Road. Then in Murfreesboro, you got a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 24 westbound before I-840. Looks like a parking lot right now, eastbound 24, if you right after you get past 440. Then eastbound 440 over to 24, northbound 65 up to the South Loop, both directions of the South Loop and then the North Loop. I'm Ken Weaver.
Is that Melanie Layden, by the way? Is that her name?
That's Melanie Layden.
Melanie, somebody call Melanie and tell her that the real feels in my house is 72 degrees. And it's 72 degrees because of efficient heating and cooling. It's hard to find someone you can trust that can fix your ailing AC system and make it as efficient as possible, helping you on the electrical side of things with your electrical bills, but also making sure that it's running as it should throughout the summer months. I mean, it's hot outside. We know it. I don't know how it feels outside to you, but it feels nice and comfortable in my home, and I want it to feel that way in your home, and so does Jeff Eddy and efficient heating and cooling. Whether it's a first issue, maybe you've noticed something going wrong with the AC, or you need a second opinion about what to do, costly breakdowns can, be costly. You need to make sure that you have the right person looking at your AC. And the right person is Jeff Eddy and his team at Efficient Heating and Cooling. Call them today. They offer financing when it comes time. They've got an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help recommend the right unit for you. Call 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or online at efficienthvac.net. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the Matt Murphy Show continues. Thank you for being with us.
I was wrong, Brother Murphy. It wasn't Ernest Tubb on the Hillbillies. It was Flatt and Scruggs.
Okay, so I was wrong too, Ken, and I'm glad you brought this up because you said Ernest Tubb.
Right.
And I know who Ernest Tubb is, but I heard Ernest T. Bass.
Oh.
And so I was very confused. I'm like, was Ernest T. Bass on the Beverly Hillbillies too? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't remember that. And that's why I said, well, I didn't watch Beverly Hillbillies that much. I watched Andy Griffith. But yes, it was Flatt and Scruggs. And Lester Flatt was the author, I think, of the Ballad of Jed Clampett.
I believe so.
And he played on it. He did not sing it, but he played on it. And this led to a very unfortunate tirade by young Jackson Williams during the commercial advertisement timeout, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Jackson informed me moments ago, I don't know if he talked to you about it at all.
He just told me.
That he is a relation to Lester Flatt.
Yes.
I am. Kin to him. Distantly.
And you're kind of upset that you did not get mentioned in the will.
Big TV money.
Well, it's probably mainly because Lester Flatt died in 1979, Jackson, and
he should have planned for the future.
Now, Scruggs, if you were a relation of Scruggs, he lived till 2012.
That was Earl Scruggs,
Earl
right?
Scruggs.
Yeah,
that's
Earl
right.
Scruggs.
Flatt and Scruggs. They did Foggy Bottom Breakdown?
Something like that.
Soggy Bottom Breakdown? I can't remember what it is.
I think it'd be Foggy.
I think so. Yes, Ernest T. Bass was on Andy Griffith.
I want one of them uniforms.
Ernest Tubb was not on the Beverly Hillbillies.
No.
But Flatt and Scruggs were.
Yes, sir.
On multiple occasions.
Yes, sir.
And we loved listening to that music.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What type of music do you play here? We play both kinds, country and Western. Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's get back to serious matters and talk to Aubrey about Green Acres. Hey, Aubrey.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that you brought up a vague memory when you all were talking about Mr. Douglas not being able to understand Arnold. It reminds me of Donald Trump and Melania and imagining them out in the country, because back when he had the debate with Joe Biden and he said, I don't know what the heck he said. I got tickled. But also, I want to say for everybody, we are so thankful to hear Ken and just pray that he continues his recovery.
Yes.
And just, we are so happy for him.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome, and you do a great Mr. Haney impersonation.
I've seen almost every one of those episodes, man, and I mean, Mr. Haney cracks me up.
Well, you're in my era, so there you go.
In the zone. Aubrey, thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, take care. And we reflect those comments on Ken Weaver. I feel like he's getting back to a semblance of normal. Can I get one more, Mr. Haney?
Mr. Douglas, have I got a deal for you?
Haney would come by Jackson with his little traveling wagon.
Yeah.
And he always had some crap to sell.
Well, and he would overhear what Mr. Douglas was talking about needing, and he would have something that would almost be what Douglas needed, but just not quite.
Not quite.
And he never took no for an answer.
Always had some sort of an elixir, too, I remember.
Yes.
You know, something for the bones. 41 minutes after the hour, back to, in all seriousness, back to more serious matters with Matthew. It says Matthew wants to talk about murder. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I hope you are.
Yeah. I heard you were kind of trying to approximate as to the length of the sentence that this Carmelo kid was going to get. I'll share this with you. I live in Mount Pleasant, as you do. And in 2007, my brother was shot and killed in cold blood on West Merchant Street. And the killer received was out of prison in 7 years.
Oh, my goodness.
My brother had no weapons on him, no gun, no knife, no anything. And that's one street that I just don't turn down because of, how hard it is. But I don't know what to be honest with you, I never looked up who it was or anything like that because I didn't want to put myself in a position of, trying to be a vigilante or something or whatever. But I don't know what his original sentence was, but I do know that he literally served 7 years and he was out. And he got to go back to his mom and his dad and his friends, and my brother did not. So I was just going to throw that out there. I don't know what Carmelo will end up getting or won't getting, but anyways, I thought I'd put it out there.
I'll never think of West Merchant Street again the same way after this call. I mean, that's the way I go to get to the dump. I cut through that little, my goodness gracious. What, Matthew, that's awesome.
I know, and I was the one that, it was about 10 or 11 at night, and I was living on Mountain Joy Road at the time. I don't know if you're familiar with that road or not, but I was living there at the time and got a knock on the door, and it was the chief of police, which he's not the chief anymore, but he told me the news, and I just about fell to the ground. I was the one that had to drive out into the country and tell my parents what had happened, and it was a rough night. Let me just put it that way. And but yes, my biggest thing is 7 years.
7 years
later,
is not enough time.
And like I said, I'm being honest. My brother had no handgun to fight back with, no knives or anything of this nature, or just his hands.
Matthew, what was the original sentence? Was it 7 or was it more than that, and he got it reduced, or the person got it reduced?
Well, that's what I'm not 100% sure on. I'm not sure. I didn't investigate to see exactly if it was say 20 years or 15 years or anything like that. The only facts that I do know, I'm not going to find them out, but only thing that I do know about it, because I tried to distance myself from it because he was 9 years younger, my brother, and I didn't want to get too close to the what was going on because I knew I would probably do something I'd regret, if that makes sense to you. And but I do know that he ended up, whether it was that's just what he would have got out, or if it was good behavior, that I don't know. Those are things I've not asked questions about, but the only thing that sticks in my mind is he took my brother's life, and my brother had a 1-year-old son, which is my nephew, and he's grown up his entire life not really. I'm sorry, his son was about 3 when he was killed, so he's grown up his whole life with my brother's last name, but never really knowing who his dad was. So.
But God bless you. God bless your family. I hate that, and it's not enough time. I mean, obviously that is clearly not a consistent amount of time to spend in jail. I mean, it should be life in prison at very least, in my opinion. You take a life, you give a life, if not permanently through the death penalty, then at very least you give a life for the rest of your life in prison. Matthew, God bless you. Come see us in Mount Pleasant, brother.
Yeah, I live right across the high school. I have to come look you up.
Yeah, man, I'm there. You can't miss me. Just listen for the yelling. I do a lot of yelling around the house. 46 after the hour. Hey, I was sent this. Jackson, audio video, please. I was sent this, and the person that sent it to me just sent it with a simple message. And Ken's going to want to pay attention to this. Weaver back there? Good. Ken, the person that sent this to us said, and I quote, "You're welcome." Here it is.
Speakers, please welcome Donald Trump and Will and Grace's Karen Walker.
2005.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. keep Manhattan. Just give me that countryside.
Y'all think where I'd rather stay? I'm just allergic smelling hay. Just the door, penthouse view. Darling, I love you. Give me Park Avenue. So good.
The George.
Such dogs.
This is back when Hollywood liked Donald Trump. Yeah.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, city lights. We never see
There you go. There's a little Green Acres for you with Donald Trump and that was. I think that was Megan Mullally.
Megan Mullally, yes.
But I think whoever that fellow was that introduced them. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Ellen DeGeneres. I got confused. What? Y'all seen Ellen lately?
Whew, I have not. What's going on with her?
Oh, she's off in a foreign country somewhere. She's looking rough.
She doesn't have any producers to yell at anymore. That's your future, buddy.
You don't know what pain is. I'm gonna go Ellen on your ass one of these days. You're gonna find out. Oh, she's America's princess in front of the cameras. Everybody loves Ellen. Oh, she's funny. Oh, she's dancing. Just a damn animal behind the scenes.
Apparently so,
Apparently.
man. Well, nobody came to her defense.
Nobody.
Not a soul.
Nobody. I mean, the only thing that you could get were, Stars was like, well, she was always nice to me.
Yeah.
I did watch her berate a producer for 2 hours once, but she was nice to me.
But she was pleasant enough to me. She's just a perfectionist, like I am on the Matt Murphy Show. We demand perfection around here, Jackson. And anything less is unacceptable.
Matt, we are closer to the Beverly Hillbillies than the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Let's just be honest.
I think that's fair. Stephen wants to talk about race. Hello, Stephen. Good afternoon. Welcome in.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
I'm great, Stephen. Here. Thank you.
Hey, man, we may be neighbors, too. I'm down around Holyoke, so welcome to Murray County.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
But I'll tell you, man, I kind of put racism and cancer, I put them in the same category. I don't think there will ever be a cure for either because there's too much money and too many people profiting from the treatments of the symptoms and, just profiting from keeping the wheels of division turning on all of us. And I just, for me, I'm a business owner and I have to be careful. I don't even participate in Facebook that much at all anymore because I have to watch what I say. Can't post anything political, anything like that, because it'll come back to bite me in my business dealings.
Mm-hmm.
And and I heard some of the other callers or the text about the Rittenhouse kid. That situation. He was actually running and retreating for his life.
Yes,
I think if the young man just got sentenced, and it's a terrible situation. 2 families impacted there, but. Had he been running for his life and the 2 brothers, the twins, and a teammate were chasing him and he's fearing for his life, well, then maybe it's a different story. But that's not,
Rittenhouse was running. And I, during a break there, I rewatched the video and he was running for his life. He fell down, rolled over, and the guy was on top of him and was drawn down when Rittenhouse fired at him and shot him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a terrible situation.
Yes.
And, I just, the whole racism, it's never going to get any better. We pumped billions of dollars since the 60s into, equality and all this, and things have gotten worse.
I said years ago, Stephen, that, when conversations, and there's a new story coming out of California regarding their plan on reparations, where they're trying to put like $1 gajillion in this reparations fund for some reason, and it is discriminatory on its face, and it's going through the court systems now. But I said years ago that I would be fine with setting up a reparations fund, but anyone that agrees to receiving monetary compensation for reparations for the sins of slavery and all of the subsequent things that happened in the aftermath of slavery, that's fine, but you have to sign documentation that you're never allowed to bring up race again in your life. And if you do, you have to give the money back.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm being a bit facetious, but the point is that it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of
a victim-based society. And that knows no color. That goes across all different types of people, race, color, ethnicities, national origin. Sadly, we have a society where there are oppressors and oppressees. There are the oppressed and the oppressors. And everybody wants to pretend that they're oppressed by some unknown oppressor, the they, them. And if it were not for they, them, I would have a wonderful life. If it were not for they, them, everything would be going fine. When the fact of the matter is, for the most part, and I understand that people have to deal with unforeseen circumstances, the way that I live my life, when I look at in the mirror every morning, that is the person that charts the future of my life. And I want to take responsibility for every negative thing that can happen in my life, and I want to act on those things and try to make them better, and I want to benefit from those positive things that you work hard for in your life as well. And while I understand that sometimes obstacles are presented in front of us that we cannot potentially foresee, that we cannot avoid, I believe that if you take the attitude that I have in my life and apply it even to those circumstances, you're going to be better off anyway. In the vast majority of cases, if you look yourself in the mirror and you're wondering why you're in a position that you're in, the reason is the person looking back at you. For good or for bad. 54 after the hour on Super Talk. Defend Systems, a life safety and security consultation firm based right here in Middle Tennessee. Brink Fiddler comes on the show quite often talking about how better to prepare in the unlikely event that something negative should happen to you in your workplace, your school, your church, places that people gather. Active shooter response training is very important, and they do it at Defend Systems. Workplace violence prevention, site survey and threat assessment, security improvement consultation, emergency and intruder action plans for your facility, for your staff, for the people that gather in your place of business or your church or your school. That's what they do at Defend Systems. They're not here to scare you, but they are here to train you and to help you understand what you should do. And these training techniques, this program, it acts in more ways than just the possibility of violence in the workplace. It can also apply to finding yourself in an accident or coming up on an accident. You know what? I utilized the training on a couple of different occasions at Cumulus Nashville, and I went so far as to take a TECC course with Brink Fiddler and Defend Systems because I wanted to get further trained as to what to do in medical emergencies, and I appreciate and value that training, and you will too. DefendSystems.com or call 615-236-6484, 236-6484 for our friends at Defend Systems.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Well, the Trump administration's warning more than 500 hospitals nationwide, including several in Middle Tennessee, to improve price transparency or they could face steep fines. Here in Middle Tennessee, Ascension St. Thomas Midtown in Nashville and Sumner Regional Medical Center in Gallatin received warnings, while Williamson Medical Center in Franklin and St. Thomas Hospital for Specialty Surgery in Nashville were asked to submit corrective action plans. Trump administration officials say hospitals must clearly post pricing for common services so patients can compare costs ahead of time. Facilities that fail to comply could be fined up to $2 million a year. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is going to bomb key areas of Iran tonight to pressure the regime into a deal to end the conflict.
As President Trump said, they've been tapping. You can see when someone's trying to tap on a deal. Instead, they're going to have tap bombs dropping on key facilities in Iran from the United States of America. And that's not because we want to restart anything we don't have to restart.
Hegseth speaking from CENTCOM there at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. Hopes for a reduction in interest rates anytime soon may have been dashed with this morning's release of the latest consumer price index showing inflation up 4.2%. This report on the national economy did not give investors encouragement. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Moody's Analytics estimates now that the typical household has paid some $510 extra in fuel expenses since this war began. Americans also paying more for food and travel. The numbers showing that airline fares jumped nearly 27%. Also big jumps in the prices of tomatoes, coffee, ground beef. And that is on top of overall grocery costs already up about 25% in the last 5 years.
Personal bankruptcy filings are on the rise in Tennessee. A new study, according to News 2, shows more than 21,600 filings in the past year, up about 6.6%. Despite modest growth, Tennessee still ranks third in the nation for bankruptcies per capita. Part of what researchers are calling the bankruptcy belt. Experts say job loss, medical debt, and divorce, some of the key drivers. And a fresh legal battle is brewing between Nashville and the state over who controls the airport authority. Mayor Freddie O'Connell directing Metro's law department to sue again after lawmakers passed a new takeover measure this year. Metro argues federal law prevents the state from stepping in without board approval and warns of potential chaos if the change goes through. While the lawsuit could cost taxpayers more in the near term, leaders say local control is key to protecting airport revenues that benefit the city. But state lawmakers say the Nashville airport serves the entire state, and the entire state should have a say, with the governor and leading lawmakers appointing board members. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, let's check the crashes here. Berry Hill off-ramp partially blocked, 65 northbound off-ramp to westbound 440. And Franklin off-ramp partially blocked, 65 southbound to I-840. South Loop downtown, right shoulder block, 40 eastbound approaching exit 210C. And then in the Hermitage, got a crash on-ramp partially blocked, 40 westbound on-ramp from Central Pike. Antioch, a crash, 24 eastbound at the Blue Hole Road overpass. And in Murfreesboro, still showing that stalled vehicle, left shoulder block, 24 westbound before I-840. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're halfway home this Wednesday edition, anticipating a visit from Cameron Smith, C. Smith in the house, coming up in mere moments on this Wednesday. It's episode 1054. We thank you for being around. Last night, we had some election results. The Nazi sympathizer, or the Nazi tattoo guy, Graham Plattner, sailed to victory in the Democrat primary in Maine. That was the big news from last night. I mean, I really didn't cover a lot of the other stories. I was talking with our good friend Cameron earlier today as we were putting down another episode of All the Best Words, and he was talking about, I did not realize until Cameron brought this up to me, that Nancy Mace was running. I didn't know that Nancy Mace was running for governor. I'll be honest with you, in South Carolina. I just don't follow the former representative that much. Or I guess, is she former representative? She's still representative. I don't know. She finished like fifth place. She's not going to be governor, I'll tell you that, because she finished like fifth place in the gubernatorial election in the primary in the state of South Carolina. Lindsey Graham did pretty well. They love Lindsey over there in South Carolina, I suppose. So there's that. Graham Plattner, you know what? Racism, Nazism be damned, sexism, misogyny be damned. The Democrats know a winner when they see one, and they're working that Graham Plattner angle as best they possibly can. Listen, when you pick a horse, I suppose you're going to ride that horse until he drops you. And they picked quite a horse over there. He's not really an oyster farmer. He is certainly not a man of meager means within his childhood and growing up, and he certainly doesn't seem like a very good guy, but, you know, y'all do you, Democrats. Let's see where that takes you. In the meantime, look who has decided to show. Man, oh, man, that shirt. Let me tell you, in the bright lights, I don't know that it showed up. I don't know that it popped during the podcast in the manner that it's popping here. I don't blame you for wearing the sunglasses, because if I wore that shirt, I'd need shades myself. Cameron Smith is with us.
Imagine this with a black light. I mean, just...
Does it glow?
I'm sure it glows.
Have you... I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
We'll test it out.
Let's go.
I got a black light.
You did?
It's at home.
I would have been very impressed if you had a black light like in your bag.
Yeah,
I would be impressed and somewhat concerned.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, with teenage boys, you don't want to use
some
that
things you don't want to know. You just don't, especially like in the laundry, like in the hamper,
in the walls,
like ceilings.
What is
my Lord?
Yeah.
Just please take your hands off your own body for a
bioluminescence is a heck of a thing.
Good gracious. How's it been going, man?
It's been going. I am, as I regularly do when I fill in and on the show, one of the big things in my life with all the boys is football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have been footballing like you would not believe. The Lipscomb Academy Mustangs.
What are we footballing now for?
These are the off-season workouts. And so 8 to, I think, 1. And then my youngest, who's in middle school, is 3 to 5:30.
It's like the high school version of OTAs.
Yeah, they're doing my youngest, much to his chagrin, doing bear crawls up a hill and down a hill and up a hill and down a hill. and that kind of stuff. But it's serious, man. It's fun, and I'll tell you something. The kids have been fantastic. I mean, just inviting my youngest to it's their first year at Lipscomb Academy, and kind, welcoming, like getting to know them. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm very, very impressed.
Who's your coach over there?
Trent Dilfer.
Didn't he win a Super Bowl?
He did.
Huh. Let me see. Let me test my knowledge. Buccaneers? No. Is that right? No.
He played for the Bucs.
Yeah, Ravens, I believe.
Yep, 2000 Ravens.
Was the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Trent Dilfer?
Yeah.
Would we say that, Cameron, you don't have to participate in this conversation. Jackson, would you say that Trent Dilfer is the worst quarterback to win a Super Bowl?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of Super Bowl quarterbacks now.
I don't know. I want to say
the Buccaneers guy was bad.
There was the Buccaneers guy. That's the one I was thinking about.
I don't even remember his name, so I'm going to say I remember. I know who Trent Dilfer is.
Well,
so
I'll tell you what, he is a heck of a coach for these high school kids. Like, he is engaged and investing in them.
Have you gotten to meet him?
Yeah, great guy. And I think the thing that I'm excited about is actually like the fact he's got something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
He was very successful in his first tenure with Lipscomb Academy. Obviously, UAB, we were there. Didn't go well for whatever reasons, and now coming back saying, hey, I want to build this. I want to build this into a powerhouse program. I'm here for it. I think it's great. And the big thing for me, high school football is high school football. Your character lasts a long time.
Yeah.
And I'll say Coach Dilfer's investment in the kids and their character and what he's willing to put up with is pretty awesome at this cultural moment where it's like, hey, we're going to do the little things well repeatedly. It matters.
I would say that Brad Johnson,
man,
would be a worse quarterback.
I haven't heard that name in forever.
They're both close.
Is it fair to say that the Buccaneers won that 2002 Super Bowl on defense?
Yes.
Was that
Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp?
It was Warren Sapp defense, yeah.
Derek Brooks.
Who was the Raiders quarterback? Rich Gannon?
Yes.
Did they win a Super Bowl?
No, they lost to the Buccaneers, and he got his brains beat in.
So let's see. I'm going to say Brady, Mahomes, probably those aren't bad quarterbacks. There's Brad, then there's Trent. Other than that, Jeff Hostetler with the Giants. And yeah.
I
normally you get to the Super Bowl, you get a pretty good quarterback.
I just need football. I mean, college football is so fun. I just need it. I refer to the non-football times as the dark times.
Are you at all excited? Can you get excited about soccer?
Let me put it this way. I want to.
Me too.
Like, I really do. I've been to the Nashville Soccer Club games. I've had friends who are, season ticket holders, and they're like, they got their scarves and the chants and stuff. And there's not enough violence. I want a better way to say it, but like the collisions are what does it for me, So
I'm on record as saying that I love my country more than I hate soccer. So I cannot get into soccer unless there's a USA on a jersey. And if there's a USA on a jersey, then I'm going to get jingoistic and I'm going to root for my nation. And so I have found myself rooting for the women's team when they're doing well in World Cup action. And I will root for USA. I imagine, I don't know that I can get through an entire one, but I'll turn it when there's 10 minutes left, I'll turn it on. I think that's fair.
They're long.
It's not long, but it feels long.
Yeah.
What feels weird is when the time hits 0 and then they just are. We're going to put some. Jackson, you're the resident. Can we get a Action Jackson Sports Minute? I don't feel like I've had an Action Jackson Sports Minute.
What's the sport?
It would be soccer. It's time for Q&A with Action Jackson. It's an Action Jackson Sports Minute. They don't get the official. They don't get the real deal. All right.
He doesn't know where the buttons are anymore.
I know where all the buttons are. There's a basketball one and a football one, and then an other. This would be the other.
Oh.
It's technically hockey, but it'll do.
It's time for another Action Jackson Sports Minute on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, where Jackson Williams teaches us all we need to know about sporting activities.
Yes, sir.
Also, we did this bit before Chad Benson and Bell.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yes.
Just for the record. Jackson, why do they put what's the deal with the extra time? It bugs me. It bugs me.
So there's no timeouts, no stoppages in soccer.
Okay.
It is 90 minutes straight.
Okay.
But there are stoppages in play, when there's an injury, when there's a penalty, a free kick, different times the game is stopped and there is nothing happening. They aren't playing soccer. They are just standing around trying to, things like that.
Just figuring out life.
Just figuring it out. And so they take that time. The refs have a stopwatch where they start it when the dead ball time starts and they stop it. And then they add that time back on at the end of the half. So some games, you may get 1 minute of extra time because you just had a few throw-ins. Not a lot. Goals also count as dead period time because you have to go get the ball. You have to get it all the way back to midfield. So let's say it's a 0-0 game where, you haven't had a ton of stoppages. They've just kind of been running back and forth. You're only going to get 1 to 2 minutes of extra time. What's up? Go for it.
I have a question.
Go for it.
I was just waiting to be acknowledged.
Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Action Jackson. So they don't tell, the audience, the people in the stands,
nope,
the people on
the
TV,
end.
exactly how much time there is.
What do you mean?
When the
you don't know what's in the stopwatch.
You don't know what's
how
on the
much extra
stopwatch.
time. You can guesstimate it. Anyway, we've had, 3 goals, couple free kicks, ball's been out of bounds a few times. You can say we're going to get 3 to 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Okay, can I have a follow-up?
Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Action Jackson. Why don't they just stop the time?
That's a question for the soccer people.
Hey, soccer people, why don't they, when there's a stoppage, why don't they just pause the time?
It's how it's always been done.
Pause the time. Okay, we're going to start it back up again.
I got a question.
Ken Weaver.
Yeah, so during the World Cup, can games end in a tie?
In the group stage round, they can. You can draw.
So who wins?
Nobody. You just get each team splits the points. So the group stage is all about points.
Oh, okay.
And the top, I believe, 2 or 3 teams advance.
And I want to say 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie.
Yes.
And 0, obviously, for a loss.
Gotcha.
But then they've gone to... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, Matt.
Mr. Weaver, were you done with your question, sir?
I'm done with my question.
Okay, I've got one. So if there's more teams that advance to the knockout stage now, right? There's 32. Sure. I knew something that the teacher didn't know, Cameron. See, Cameron started all this talking about sports, and now he has checked out on us.
Yeah,
he's over there. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not listening to this.
This is how I feel about soccer.
When you go to the
USA.
They said the tickets aren't even sold out for the World Cup.
What?
The USA soccer tickets for the World Cup.
What soccer tickets? For the USA team?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
why do you know about that?
Huh.
So
I wouldn't go if you gave them to me. I don't think. I don't like crowds that much. Yes, Jackson.
in the knockout stage, you cannot tie.
And what do you do then? Is that penalty kicks?
Penalties. Well, they will, I believe, add on extra time. You will have an overtime period, and then the finals in the last World Cup had an overtime period. I believe 2 overtime periods, and then a penalty kick. Penalty kick session.
I have a follow-up question on stoppage time.
Yes.
This follow-up question comes to us from 0324, and I absolutely love this question. Does stoppage time have its own stoppage time?
Yes. They just don't tell you how much it is.
So
interesting.
They'll let it. So let's say so the 90 minutes is over.
Yeah.
They will announce we have 7 minutes of stoppage time. And then they will let it go. That is the minimum number. That is the minimum amount of extra time you get. That is you have to play for 7 more minutes. But if there's more stoppages, it could be more like 9-10 minutes.
That's stoppage time on stoppage time.
Yes.
Well,
it's not a hard line. It's a little loosey-goosey.
This is time that we'll never get back. This has been an Action Jackson Sports Report on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Jackson. There you go.
That's the way to go, Brother Jackson.
That's all I know about soccer. Don't ask me any more questions.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, I've worked for a soccer broadcast for 4 seasons now. I should.
But there are just tons of the tickets for I guess it's the 12th is the first game versus Paraguay.
That's in L.A.? SoFi?
It's SoFi Stadium, or Paraguay. And
how in the hell are there tickets available? I mean, this is a big deal, I thought. I've been told on good authority.
The prices are falling. How much do they cost? They're still like $1,000+ each. But I don't know.
7429 says the tickets will never be sold out for soccer because soccer sucks and nobody cares about soccer.
There are people flying from all over the world to the United States right now just to watch.
Well, I mean, I
soccer
understand
games.
that poor countries can't afford like baseball gloves and bats, so they have to do something. And with soccer, you just throw a ball out there and, you have some open area and there you go.
Oh, you've thrown down with all the soccer people now.
What?
All of
Is this not why soccer is so popular around the globe?
The Venn diagram of listeners to this station and soccer fans.
I mean, come on.
You just lost some.
You lost all 3 of them.
All 3 of the soccer fans?
Right there.
I feel like I feel like the one possible person that I'm really the feelings that I'm really hurting are Chad Benson's.
Is Chad he's a soccer guy?
He was a soccer player.
Oh, really?
Chad played soccer in
internationally.
Chad played in Europe.
So he was good soccer.
I mean,
player.
he was a good,
really good.
He was like a I mean, he was an American playing in Europe. That's how good he was, and they don't like Americans playing over there. So
I scored a goal from midfield in the 5th grade.
Ken Weaver,
for the Tornadoes,
might as well have been a professional soccer player himself.
I was there for the snacks.
Mm-hmm. I could have been a professional soccer player, but for 2 things:
ability,
talent, and dedication.
No. I got a story about soccer.
Ken Weaver, Weaver laughs in there. Ken,
yes, sir.
If I had had more talent and I was dedicated, I'd be playing in the damn World Cup today.
I don't
know.
Talent. It's all talent and dedication, boys.
So I played soccer when I was in the 1st or 2nd grade.
Y'all remember, it's all talent and dedication, and every putt is straight if you hit them hard enough.
Because it went straight there.
Well, it better go in, though. Otherwise,
I don't get it. Round ball.
Every putt straight if you hit it hard enough. Think about it. It's true, actually. Okay, enough of that. What did you make of the elections last evening? You were all over Nancy Mace during the podcast. You were just mean.
I was not mean.
You were too. You're like, nobody cares about Nancy Mace.
Well, I think the fact that she's got the most name idea in that whole field and finished 5th, pretty good indication that people are kind of done with her. And I don't think it was because of the Epstein files. I think it's because of the high drama where every time somebody says anything, she just, I'm going to sue you. This is awful and never. It's about, she suffers from imemioniosis, where it's very much like, I'm the center of the world.
Here's what I'll say about Nancy Mace. And I do not want this to come off as cold or calloused, because I am sensitive to the fact that there are people in this listening audience that have been abused.
Mm-hmm.
But everything in your life is not about that abuse. And what I've discovered in my experience with Nancy Mace is that somehow everything went back to her past. And I mean, I'm like, at some point, I'm like, is all of it about that? Does that make sense? I'm trying to be sensitive to it, but and maybe it's because most of where I have absorbed Nancy Mace has to do with the Epstein files. Maybe that's why it is.
Yeah, and I understand it in that context. I mean,
mostly
I do too. Everything went back to her, and that to me is what wears people out. And in a weird way, that's I think what undid Massey was. It's about you and how you view the world, and nothing else matters. At some point, people are like, "But you're there to represent me." So you need
Shouldn't
to
this be about me, not about you?
You should play ball with me, not just pontificate.
Dave writes in and says, I'm a little late to the party. Why the heck is Cameron wearing sunglasses? Nobody knows. It's 25 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's going on, kids? Matt Murphy here. It is summertime. School is out. Beach trips, weddings, barbecues, pool parties, and so much more coming up. Maybe you have some stubborn fat around the midsection that makes you feel not so comfortable. Maybe you dread being in photographs. Maybe you don't want to see yourself on social media. Maybe you hate buying new clothes. You feel like you're admitting defeat. Maybe you have thought about the idea of plastic surgery or taking out some medication with unknown side effects. You are stuck, my friends, and I have a way to get you unstuck. Those extra inches and bulges make you uncomfortable in your clothes, uncomfortable in your skin. My friends at Contours LLC in Franklin have been around for 5 years now, and they have a great history of utilizing red light technology to solve those problems. The Ultra Slim equipment uses a red light at 635 nanometers that opens up a pore in your fat cells. I'm going to explain it to you because it's pretty cool. It allows the toxins and the contents to drain out. It is a natural process on the part of the body. No pain, no downtime, no complications. It's FDA approved. You just try it for $99, and I promise you'll love it. Call Contours today at 615-236-9960. 236-9960 or book online at contoursllc.com. The first 10 callers can come on in and try a session for $99. After all, what do you have to lose? Butt inches.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now, the Trump administration is cracking down on hospital pricing. They've sent warning letters to more than 500 facilities across the nation, including some here in Middle Tennessee. Locally, warnings were issued to Ascension St. Thomas in Midtown, Trousdale Medical Center in Hartsville, and Sumner Regional in Gallatin, while Williamson Medical Center and especially St. Thomas facility in Nashville face stricter compliance requirements. Hospitals that don't fix the issue risk penalties reaching $2 million annually per the Trump administration. And today, President Trump signed a bill that would fund ICE and Border Patrol for the remainder of his term. Its $70 billion price tag narrowly passing both chambers of Congress. Karen Travers says during a Q&A with reporters, Trump said the U.S. would be hitting targets in Iran again tonight.
He also talked about the status of negotiations with Iran and where things stand right now on a deal. And then the president was very optimistic about the state of play at this point, and at one point said that a deal is fully negotiated, that all Iran has to do at this point is just sign off on it.
News 2 says a new report finds Tennessee continues to struggle with high bankruptcy rates. More than 21,000 people filed over the past year, marking an increase from 2025, according to this report. The state ranks third nationwide when adjusted for population, behind only Alabama and Mississippi. Researchers point to financial hardship like unemployment, divorce, and medical bills. Inflation's at its highest level in 3 years at 4.2%, according to today's report. And Stephen Cates at Bankrate telling ABC News the Fed may need to raise interest rates.
The Fed needs to take inflation seriously. We obviously had very good jobs numbers come out last Friday. We've had 3 straight months of positive payrolls growth. That's the first time in a year. And that's something that puts the balance of risk squarely on inflation. If the Fed doesn't take inflation seriously, expectations of, again, continuing rising inflation is going to be something that gets baked in.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Going to tell you where the crashes are. Let's start on 65. Berry Hill, you got a crash. 65 northbound off-ramp to westbound 440. Franklin, off-ramp partially blocked 65 southbound to I-840. Metro Center, 65 southbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Crashes on I-40 over by the airport, eastbound at Donaldson Pike. The Hermitage on-ramp partially blocked, 40 westbound from Central Pike. And then I-24 in Glencliff got a crash there at Briley Parkway. That's 24 eastbound there at Briley Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for my friends at USS. That's United Structural Systems. Have I mentioned until the end of June, you have 24 months no interest financing options available at USS? Do not allow your foundation problems to get worse while you wait for the economy to get better. Your home doesn't wait for the economy to get better. You better fix it now and you can pay for it later. Get peace of mind right now through USS. So once again, 24 months, no interest financing options, good right now through the end of June. Look, we've got a lot of water coming down, and that's a good thing. We need the water, but water can cause havoc in your basement, your crawl space, your home. I mean, if the ground swells from being oversaturated with water, it creates additional pressure on the foundation, many times leading to cracks. Not only is waterproofing important right now, so is an inspection of your foundation to make sure that you are A-OK. And that inspection comes from USS, United Structural Systems. Make sure that you don't have hydrostatic pressure. That's a fancy way of saying that you've had horizontal cracks in your basement, your walls, your bowing, perhaps inward. This is typically due to that unwanted hydrostatic pressure. Be sure to tell USS that I use these fancy words when you make the call or visit the website, USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com for all of your waterproofing needs, your foundation repair needs. There's USS. Hi, friends. I guess that's my opportunity to tell you a little about Genesis Diamonds, and I'm happy to do so. Gentlemen, let's talk for a moment. The loved one in your life, the wife, the significant other, she wants something sparkly. She does. She wants something beautiful, maybe handcrafted, like a Tacori ring, a wedding band. Well, if you got that going on, there's only one place to go, and that's Genesis Diamonds. Colored bands, fashion, necklaces. You pick any item right now in the store at Genesis Diamonds, and this is through the month of June, and you divide that cost by 60, and that's your payment. You don't have to put any money down. They can include the sales tax on this deal. 0.0% interest for 5 years at Genesis Diamonds. On approved credit, and they want you to see the store for further details. But the bottom line is this. You pick anything in the store, and you divide it by 60, and that is yours, and you don't have to have any money on you when you do all of this. At Genesis Diamonds, interest rates are through the roof on some other items, not so much at Genesis. It's the smartest way to buy, and it's a great incentive for you to go ahead and get that home run gift opportunity that you've been thinking about. I mean, this is big enough that you could even, I'm not kidding, folks. Think about Christmas and just stash that thing away, and then you're taken care of for the rest of the year. How about that? Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Tim Jones wants to know why they don't show the extra time accrued on the scoreboard as a separate clock. By the way, Tim, I didn't mean to out you there. I just kind of said your whole name.
They don't show it counting up or counting down, but they will put like a little banner like it'll be like 90 and it'll stay 90 plus 7.
Because they count up. They don't count down. They don't go from 90 to 0. They come from 0 to 90. And so, okay. So, but is that official or is that an estimate? Or do you know?
What do you mean? When the TV... The ref lets... there's a sign held up that says...
That lets everybody... lets the teams know, basically. All right, so that's fair. It is also fair to say this. Ken Weaver, you back there?
Yes, sir.
Ken, we got Nincompoops coming up in mere seconds.
Yes, sir.
And today's a Wednesday edition, so there's 4 players in the game today.
Yes, sir.
Ken, did you know who won yesterday? Do you know who won yesterday?
I do not.
It was Jackson.
Way to go, brother Jackson.
Jackson has won 2 days now, Ken.
I know. He's going to be insufferable if he gets that trophy.
I mean, especially in a sweep. We've got to stop him. We have to stop this man before he strikes again.
3 wins is a turkey.
It's time to get it done, folks. Anybody but Jackson. ABJ. It's time for Nincompoops in the News. Yeah, I still got the trophy for the rest of the week there, buddy boy. It's right behind me, behind my right shoulder. It's time for Nincompoops in the News. Y'all know how we do it. We look all across this great state of Tennessee, all across these 50 United States of America.
Nay, the globe!
Nay, the globe. And we look and find those nincompoops. I've got a global nincompoop myself.
I've got a good one.
I have found a nincompoop around the globe. I love it when I find Nay, the globe.
You got to check those newspapers in Taiwan.
Oh yes, sir. You got to check those out.
They're all over the place over there.
Does anybody have one from Taiwan? Before I say what I'm about to say,
I don't.
Ken, Cameron,
no, I don't.
I almost used one from Taiwan. Did y'all see that university president from Taiwan that told the kids that they need to go out and get a job, and if they didn't, they just need to off themselves?
It's good.
I'm not making this up. He did. It was during a commencement address. He goes, get out and find good work. And if you don't find good work and you can't be a productive member of society, go ahead and end yourself.
Wow.
He has now he made an announcement earlier this week that he has decided to take a 2-month leave of absence.
I was getting ready to say, I don't think they have any cry rooms in that school.
No. But you know what? You got to take a 2-month leave of absence because you're a nincompoop.
Who's ready for the order today?
Jackson wants to get right down to it.
He does.
Okay, Jackson, go right ahead.
Williams.
Uh-huh.
Weaver. Murphy. Smith.
All right, that seems fair enough.
I like that.
That
works for me.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, one way or the other, we got to do it that way, I suppose. Jackson, are you Williams?
Yes.
Then go right ahead, sir.
Ohio journalist arrested, colleagues believes because he texted Shrek genitals to state senator.
Was that English? Did he just speak English? What?
Would you like me to read the headline again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ohio journalist arrested, colleagues believe, because he texted Shrek genitals to state senator.
Okay.
Tell me more.
All right.
You had me at hello.
An Ohio journalist and blogger known as The Rooster, real name DJ Burns, was arrested at the Ohio State House on Monday by the State Highway Patrol and booked into the Franklin County Jail.
Name's
His
Burns.
crime? Well, this was an arrest for telecommunications harassment, with the warrant alleging Burns sent 2 images to an individual only identified as JC with the intent to harass. So what were these offending messages? Burns' colleague, Matt Littman, told the Columbus Dispatch he believes the arrest was a consequence of Burns texting, and as Ken Weaver would say, photos of cartoon character Shrek's crank. To a state senator named State Senator Jerry Serino, who Burns regularly refers to as Little Mussolini. Littman said,
We'll
if
send
this
this
is
crank pic to me. Little
Mussolini.
That's funny because that's what I used to call. Never mind.
Littman said, if this is in fact true that he was arrested over that, then it's blatant targeting a political opponent and journalist. Littman's version of events was backed up by Ohio attorney Scott Pullins, who took to X to emphasize that while he doesn't agree with 90% of his politics, if Burns was arrested on these alleged grounds, then it is reprehensible. Some people are asking whether the state senator should just get ogre it.
Was that yours? Is that a personal one, or did you steal that one?
Did not steal that one.
That was good. Get ogre it.
That's good writing.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh.
Little Mussolini.
So yeah, don't.
You want to see Little Mussolini? No, I do not.
Oh man.
No, I do not.
Nope.
That's a good one,
Are there
Brother
any?
Jackson.
Are there any photographs?
I mean, if you look them up on the internet, yes, there are plenty. I mean,
what is this a thing?
Oh yeah, it's a meme. You know, like you send. Yeah, I mean,
what?
Wait, what?
No, whoa, what? Oh yeah, it's what? No, nobody else in this conversation seems to know what the hell you're talking about. So you might want to extrapolate on that a little bit further.
Are you guys on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you send a picture of Shrek if you want to.
You send a picture of his junk?
Yeah, it's a joke.
My memes are way different.
I don't get that meme. I don't get it.
Jackson just edited himself. I'm proud of you, Jackson.
Yeah.
I think you were about to say something else. Here, let me see if I can.
That's weird.
Ken, are you going next?
I'm going next.
Pat's
All right.
about to get himself fired on the company Wi-Fi.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
All right, this out of Wichita Falls, Texas, boys, where a man claimed to be Donald Trump after getting arrested at a pool hall. Police arrested a man on Saturday night after they said he threatened to shoot up the place while claiming to be a police officer, then claiming to be Donald Trump. Jason Brian Martin was booked into the Wichita County Jail Sunday morning. According to court documents, officers with the Wichita Falls Police Department were dispatched to Fast Eddie's regarding a man who was claiming to be a police officer and threatening to shoot up the joint. A responding officer said they spoke with the manager, who alleged that Martin had claimed to be a police officer and threatened to arrest him. They said the manager also claimed Martin had made threats to, quote, F him up, as well as shoot him. The affidavit said an officer took Martin into custody for public intoxication. They said after Martin was arrested, he identified himself as Donald J. Trump, stating that they should check him using that name. According to the affidavit, Martin continued to claim to be a local, state, federal, and worldwide law enforcement officer. Police said Martin would rattle off strings of numbers and letters, insisting they were badge numbers to prove his status as a law enforcement officer. Police said they were eventually able to identify Martin by his Texas identification card and confirm he was not a federal agent or a police officer or Donald J. Trump.
Hey, you know what he was, Ken?
He was an nincompoop.
He was a nincompoop.
So, you want to talk about what you saw on your phone over there?
Dude, why did you... What's wrong with you?
Can you not erase it from your memory now?
No, I mean,
It's all ogre now.
it's so much green.
I don't even want to know.
So much... all I know is it was turgid and green.
Goodness.
Jeez.
Goodness gracious.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know why. You know, it's like, oh, don't... You know, it's when people go, "Oh my Lord, this milk's bad. Taste it." That kind of thing. Oh, I think this food's gone rancid. Here, smell it. No, I don't want to smell it.
Yeah, what's that? Smell it.
No. Good gracious. Well, Ken had a nincompoop there, and I got another one. Scientists find yeast in frozen mummy's guts and use it to make sourdough bread.
Ugh, I saw that.
Yeast has been growing in the guts of a frozen mummy called Oetzi, the Iceman, for thousands of years, scientists have discovered, telling the Associated Press that they used it to make a sourdough bread. More than 5,300 years ago. By the way, I feel compelled to tell you, I'm not making this up.
No, I saw the story. Yes.
More than 5,300 years ago, before the Egyptian pyramids were built, Oetzi was strolling through the Alps on the border of Austria and Italy when he was killed by an arrow in his back. He remained frozen in the ice until two German hikers stumbled upon his mummified remains in 1991 in the northern Italian region of South Tyrol. Since then, his stunningly well-preserved remains have been kept at the same temperature, -6 degrees Celsius, as his icy tomb. This has allowed scientists to carefully study Oetzi, who offers an incredibly rare window into ancient human life. For the latest research published by the Microbiome Journal, the Italian-based team found evidence that both ancient and modern microbial life remain active inside of his frozen body. Lead study author Mohammed Saran said, "We didn't expect to find yeast, but they did. The body hosts living, metabolically capable organisms that are actively responding to their environment. The cold-adapted yeasts are growing. Certain bacteria have colonized and persisted across the tissue for decades, if not centuries. The mummy is, in a very real sense, a living biological interface, the meeting point between the ancient world and the present, where microbes from 5,000 years ago coexist with organisms of today." Now, if that were the end of the story, this would not be in Nincompoops in the News. Mm-hmm. The scientists discovered 4 separate yeasts that can survive sub-zero temperatures in Oetzi's guts, on his skin, and in the, quote, brownish water that melted off his body when he was partially unfrozen. These kinds of yeast only live in very cold conditions, such as Antarctica, and are believed to have entered Oetzi's body at some point after he died. The scientists decided to attempt to reproduce the gut yeast in a fridge, and they did so. Saran said, "If you tell anyone you have yeast, they immediately ask you if you used it to make bread. So, we did." After 3 months of effort, he says, and I quote, "We had a very, very good sourdough made from the yeast on the body of Oetzi." When asked if the scientists were considering using the yeast to brew beer, he responded, "It's on the list."
Well, that's different.
It is. I saw that and saw bored scientists. Like, guys, you got a dead body there. It's neat. Why don't we make sourdough?
Let's make some sourdough with it. We'll have a sandwich and maybe some beer later.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
You know what you are, scientists? You might be really smart. You're nincompoops. Cameron?
Yeah. Florida man alligator bite lawsuit over airboat tour. That's a terrible headline, by the way. Just makes no sense in English.
Say it again.
Florida man alligator bite lawsuit over airboat tour. Guys, come on.
Is Shrek involved in this?
I don't know, but it's a terrible
Wait,
headline.
we're talking about Shrek again?
I was going to say, there's apparently no editor there.
No editor, none. A Florida man is taking a Central Florida airboat tour company to court after an alligator encounter left him with facial injuries. Who was responsible when a tourist attraction involving a live reptile went wrong? According to the lawsuit, he's seeking $50,000 in damages because he allegedly suffered a bite to the face while participating in a complimentary alligator encounter at the end of the company's tours. This is... Court filings claim Kasanov sustained significant injuries that resulted in pain, suffering, disfigurement, disability, lost wages, mental anguish, and diminished quality of life. This is what I don't get.
I don't get a lot of that.
I don't. It's really wild. He's basically saying this company failed to train employees, warn guests, but then it says In the lawsuit, Casanov alleges there were no warning signs or other devices alerting guests to the animal's potentially dangerous behavior. It's a freaking alligator.
And you're a Florida man.
Yeah. Yep. The article does say Florida is home to an estimated 1.3 million alligators.
There's a lot of gators in Florida.
And the reptiles can be found in all 67 counties across the state. This is a known hazard. But he's like, nobody warned me.
Nobody told me about these gators, y'all.
The company said guests are not required to participate. The staff members provide handling instructions before anyone's allowed to hold the alligator Hollywood. According to the company, the alligator's mouth was secured and participants were explicitly instructed not to place the animal near their faces or pretend to kiss it.
Wow.
The company alleges that Casanov ignored those instructions, startling the alligator and causing it to swing its head into his cheek. The business described the resulting injuries as minor scratches and claimed Casanov later posted on social media that the incident was his own fault.
Was the alligator called Little Mussolini?
No, it was Hollywood.
Oh,
Hollywood.
Don't kiss little Mussolini.
And guess what he'd do to Shrek?
Vote for the Shrek penis.
Don't. Just say no.
You just
say no.
Jackson's been sitting in his little room by himself with that joke on his lips, just waiting for it. Just as he wants Cameron to get done with his story, Matt to get done with his story, so he can say the word penis on the radio. Congratulations.
Way to go, buddy.
Young Jackson.
There you go.
Vote early, vote often. I would not vote for Jackson. I am not DQ'd. Sally says I'm DQ'd because my story involved murder.
I think you need to vote for Donald J. Trump down there in Wichita Falls, Texas.
That's one man's opinion. Back in a moment.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Chuck Severson. We're bombing Iran again. It started again for a second night. This is a statement last hour from the U.S. Military Central Command, announcing the air attacks are in response to Iran's unwarranted and continued aggression. President Trump today cited Iran shooting down a U.S. helicopter, for which he already ordered retaliation attacks last night, then saying the U.S. would attack again tonight.
Well, we're going to be attacking them very hard.
From CENTCOM earlier in Tampa, Florida, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth echoing another reason Trump gave today, accusing Iran of tap dancing instead of making a deal to agree to U.S. demands.
As President Trump said, they've been tapping. You can see when someone's trying to tap on a deal. Instead, they're going to have tap bombs dropping on key facilities in Iran from the United States of America. And that's not because we want to restart anything we don't have to restart.
This is ABC News.
The Trump administration putting several Middle Tennessee hospitals on a federal list for allegedly failing to properly disclose health care prices. Among them, Ascension St. Thomas Midtown in Nashville, Sumner Regional Medical Center in Gallatin received warning notices, while Williamson Medical Center in Franklin and St. Thomas Hospital for Specialty Surgery must submit plans to correct the problem. Hospitals that ignore the mandate could face fines of up to $2 million per year, per the Trump administration. And in Nashville, Metro Nashville filing another lawsuit to stop the state's second attempt to take over its Airport Authority Board. The mayor says previous court rulings favored Metro. He believes the new law again violates federal protections. And News 2 says a new report finds Tennessee continues to struggle with high bankruptcy rates. More than 21,000 people filed over the past year, marking an increase from 2025. The state ranks third nationwide when adjusted for population, behind only Alabama and Mississippi. Researchers pointing to financial hardships like unemployment, divorce, and medical bills as major factors. And Metro Council advancing a temporary block on new data center development in Nashville. An ordinance would halt zoning and building approvals as leaders consider new regulations. It passed its first reading. It has 2 more to go. They want it to take effect by November 1st. And Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates appearing on Capitol Hill today to testify before the House Oversight Committee about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. He's not the only high-profile person being called on to testify. ABC's Peter Haralambous has details.
Sources say he's largely cooperative, answering questions during this interview, calling his entire relationship with Epstein a, quote, grave error in judgment. Along the way, though, he tried to explain why he began to know Epstein, basically saying that he thought Epstein's wealthy clients could help support his philanthropy work, including his work with the Gates Foundation.
That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes 24 eastbound at Briley Parkway, 65 southbound at Rosa Parks, 40 eastbound just past Donaldson Pike, 40 eastbound at Charlotte Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm on record as suggesting, by the way, it's the final hour of the Matt Murphy Show on this Wednesday edition. We are officially more than halfway to the weekend, which is very exciting for me and you, I hope. Cameron Smith is with us for the better part of this hour. At least we hope he is. Jackson Williams is still gainfully employed despite being nasty in the latter portion of the 5 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. And Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living, delivers it twice an hour. Voting is ongoing for the nincompoops in the news. I am sad to report that Jackson is somehow in the running. And if Jackson wins today, he will sweep nincompoops and go ahead and take the trophy on a Wednesday, which is, last I checked, the earliest that you could secure a victory. Now, I currently possess the trophy, and it'd be nice if I were able to keep it for better than 1 or 2 weeks a year. But, you know, I guess nobody likes my mummy yeast story.
Well, it's just gross.
Yeah.
Is it grosser than the Shrek twig and berries?
Well,
I don't think so.
No, and sending Shrek Crank or whatever to little Mussolini is kind of funny. Just kind of
It's just so funny.
I don't know why. It's just
Also,
little Mussolini,
Yeah.
meet big Mussolini.
Something like that.
when we made eye contact right after you looked it up, it's one of the hardest laughs I've had.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I shouldn't have looked it up.
You should not.
I
I
Googled
don't
it.
think the state senator liked it.
I didn't care for it. If that's what the state senator was sent, if what I saw was what he was sent, then I don't care for it. I don't like it at all. It's not easy being green, I suppose, as Kermit would say. Cameron and I were talking about this story out of Belfast, Ireland, which is a very disturbing one to say the least. It's one that we've been following for the last several days and made mention of. There was an Irishman, an individual in that nation, that was attacked, and there was an attempted beheading as a result of said attack. And my goodness, hold on a second. I got to find the story here. And for some reason, my computer has gone down. Because we now know the name of the person that was attacked. His name is Stephen Ogilvie. And there has been unrest in Belfast, in Ireland, as a result of this attack. The attack was engaged in or committed by a Somalian immigrant who did not speak the native language in Ireland, and got into an altercation with Stephen Ogilvie on the street, and that led to him pulling out a knife and attempting to behead Ogilvie. The police and the authorities refused to refer to it as terrorism. They will not call it an act of terrorism. And the media in Ireland were refusing to call it an attempted beheading. They were saying that it was a stabbing. But I've seen the video that was put online by an onlooker, and he mounted Mr. Ogilvie with either of his knees on either side of Ogilvie as he laid on his back on the ground. He grabbed him by the head, and he attempted to saw his knife into his neck. If that's not an attempted beheading, I don't know what is. The family, in a statement that I am 100% sure they did not write, is responding because there's been several nights in a row of civil unrest, rightly so.
Irish people are concerned about the type of individuals that are coming into their country claiming political or otherwise asylum in Ireland. Now, I don't pretend to be up on asylum law in that country, but in the United Kingdom, generally speaking, we have seen a lot of Muslim takeover of multiple communities within the United Kingdom. And as a result, there's been something of a clash of cultures. And Cameron and I were talking about, more broadly, what role the government has in this. And, across the pond, they're probably 10, 15 years ahead of us with regard to that clash of culture, where you see neighborhoods or areas of town, districts of town, that have large Muslim immigrant populations coming into town and basically changing the nature of the culture of the town, changing the nature of the culture of the area to suit where they came from. And so British citizens, Irish citizens, they're kind of pushing back on that. And instead of trying to, it seems, balance those two cultures in the best way possible, British government, and in this case, I guess it would be Irish government, they seem to be siding with the immigrants. So much so that if you are a citizen in Great Britain, you can get charged with commenting on the immigrant status of someone on social media platforms. They will come to your house if someone claims offense, and they will arrest you for saying something on social media about the nature of your neighborhood or...
which is why the First Amendment is so freaking critical.
So important. And so, yeah, and so important. And so, not necessarily responding to what's happening over there, although it's very serious. What about what's happening over here? And as you and I were talking, Cameron, I kind of go back and forth. I understand why there are concerns about cultural takeover in areas of our country. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I am concerned when I see a government so big and so powerful that they are able to tell me what I may or may not do in terms of my personal culture and my background, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of where government meets the community, and what say do we have in the future of our neighborhoods, of our towns?
Yeah, I mean, my question is, how do you draw the line? Because in the United States, religion is a protected class, right? So if you target a religion and say, hey, this religion doesn't seem mostly peaceful, so no, then you've got a constitutional challenge. If you say the behavior is what I want to target, then you've just got criminal law, which you have to enforce. And so I tend to believe that as opposed to status or a protected class, the better way to handle this is just to say, hey, look, this is why we have criminal laws. We enforce these. If you think, beheading is grisly and awful, but it's really just assault. This is an attack. That's covered by criminal law. If anybody did that for any reason, then we wouldn't look at their culture. If you tried to do that, I wouldn't say, well, he's from Georgia.
Well, at what point, if I am a government official, if I see a pattern of behavior of the people that are immigrating to my country, that the people that are coming from certain regions of the world or are bringing certain religious practices with them seem to have a far greater propensity for committing this type of violence, do I not have a responsibility to say maybe we should relook at some of our immigration policies?
Sure, and you can easily look at, let's say, pick country X and say, well, we know that immigrants from this country, their rate of criminality is 3 times that of other countries, and therefore we are not going to allow immigration from this country because they seem to be importing more criminals. That's actually you can say that's fine. You've got a very rational basis for that classification, and then you just do it. The tendency, though, is to paint with that broad brush and say, well, this country has these characteristics. No, you just say the behavior is the problem. You're sending me a lot of people that are doing this behavior. Therefore, you can't come in anymore.
Well, what happens in reality is that these nations, if they are majority Muslim, someone involved in the immigration process will claim that you are doing this because these are Muslim people.
Sure.
And then they claim that you're discriminating against them based on their religion, when in fact I'm discriminating, or perhaps I'm limiting your ability to come into the United States based on your cultural practices, which don't seem to comport with American law.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that. I would say the incidences of criminality are higher, and that's my rational basis for this. And so we don't have to talk about your culture or your faith
religion
or
at all.
anything. But like, that's just the reality, which means you have to make that case. And if in fact that country does not have that basis, you got to find something else. But they're always people are always going to allege these days discrimination. It is up to you as a government official to look at the information and say, I am protecting my people based on this information about your behavior. I am not looking at you and the kind of person you are, anything about your status or something you can't change. You can change whether you send people who commit crimes or not.
My concern, I used the example when we were talking during Ken Weaver's newscast of consumption of pork.
Mm-hmm.
The Muslims do not consume pork or handle pork. And I know that there are some restrictions in the Jewish faith as well, but I don't see some of that coming out in some of the prohibitions that I've seen recommended or suggested. And I used a hypothetical saying, well, because I'm trying to figure out where the government role is in this. If you have a large number of Muslims in a community and on their property they have a call to prayer, for example, well, that's on them. Now, I could perhaps claim, if we have a noise ordinance, I could claim that's a violation of the noise ordinance, and then we could battle that out in court. I want to step further and say, well, what if there were enough Muslims within a community that they had enough like-minded people on a city council where they said, you know what, we don't want to be exposed to pork-based products, so we're just going to eliminate the sale of pork-based products in this community. You're just not going to be able to sell pork anymore in this community because we don't believe in it religiously. We don't.
If they said religiously, now we've got a case against that law because they are a government entity that is respecting an establishment of religion. If they said we don't believe that pork is safe, and that's it, then it is this a rational basis? What level of scrutiny does it receive? And that could probably stand if they had sufficient vote to do it.
So, and then I would point to real cases, and I could probably pull one of these up, where a Muslim woman was employed by Target, and she was a cashier at Target. And she did not want to, this was a Target that had a grocery store in it, and she did not want to handle any pork products while ringing people up. And so, and I think it was Target. The Target store said, okay, that's fine. You'll go do something else. You won't handle food at all. And she said, no, I don't want to be taken off my position. I just don't want to handle pork. And Target said, no, we're not going to do it that way. And she sued, and the ultimate decision was made that they had to keep her in her position, but had to get someone else to handle any pork product at any point the pork product came to her register, which I think is ridiculous.
Sure, and this goes to the sort of idea of reasonable accommodations with employers. This is a protected class. Have you reasonably accommodated? Does it interfere with your business? I mean, there's a whole legal paradigm for this. And again, a judge or jury can look at it and say, well, you were or you weren't. Again, is it I am following the law or not? It's deeply unsexy, but where I tell folks in these type of things, always look at the behavior. Look at the thing and tackle that. Like, for example, a call to prayer that is a nuisance, you would have to basically say, we have a noise ordinance that there can be no sound projected at this decibel level or higher. You have done this. They're going to say, well, this is part of our free expression of religion. You must allow us to do this because we're telling people when they have to do this. Then the question is there a least restrictive accommodation, like you could send out a text message to everybody and do the same thing?
So, yeah, this is why I go back to my position that we should have a moratorium on immigration in America for two reasons. Number one, I do not believe that we are bringing people over that are ready to receive the blessings of freedom and liberty that America provides, and understand that those freedoms and liberties come with an expectation that the other guy gets to live differently than you, whether they're Muslim, Catholic, of no faith at all, atheist, whatever.
Yep.
So that's one thing. Number two, we seem to be home growing a lot of people that don't like America very much.
Yes,
and don't value America very much.
Liberals.
We call those liberals. And so, and I think we need to limit bringing others in that don't seem to care for America very much, that are increasingly loud and vocal in their anger and disgust over this country. And I think if you want to do that and make it legal, and you're speaking from a very legalistic standpoint, and I get that. If we want to manage to accomplish what I want to accomplish, you're going to have to say no to everybody. You can't start picking and choosing, because they're going to pick those nits and they're going to win in court.
Yeah, and
if you start doing that based on religion.
Yes, when you do it based on religions, you're absolutely right. If you do it based on something that's not a protected class, you got a very strong case to make. The question is whether folks want to hassle with that or not. My take on it is, to borrow from Reagan, we've taught people so many things that aren't so, and we have to combat that daily here. You know, immigration part of it, but there's a lot here that is, we have whole incubators that are basically teaching you to self-loathe, to say that America is not a force for good in the world. America, these civil liberty things, they just allow bad people to do bad things. There is a whole narrative that we should just offhand reject, and not just say that's bad, but actively fight against it and say your notion that America is evil because America is imperfect is insane.
Yes.
And you need to stop, and nobody needs to give you any money anymore to go send their kids to deal with, and obviously I'm talking about higher ed here, but your level of indoctrination to make people hate their own country.
But I understand the pushback, and I share in it when I have to look at Ilhan Omar. So often is the case where she's standing before the American people that put her in a position of prominence in her local community by electing her to serve in the House of Representatives, enjoying the blessings of freedom and liberty that she never would have enjoyed in her home country. And all she seems to do is crap all over America.
Yeah.
Every time she gets an opportunity to speak.
My question to you would be, what does that say about the people that put her there, right? That they are a majority voting bloc that says, we are fine with our representative just dumping on America every chance a camera's trained on her. And that concerns me more than her, that there are people, a majority, that's, call it several 100,000 people that say, hey, hating on America, kind of cool.
My concern is we're talking about a culture of people, and I know that it's not everyone, and I fight the stereotype that it is. And I don't believe that America is a place where no Muslims belong, like Andy Ogle said. I don't believe that. However, I push back against this idea that they place their religion in a way where if they had the ability, I do believe that many people that come from other nations that come into the country, had they the ability to pervert our laws to suit their religion, they would do so. Sure. And that's frightening to me, because that shows me that they don't have the same respect for the Constitution that I do.
I think the Constitution is there because most people don't. I think we need that separation of powers, and this is how we do this stuff, and this is how we elect people. And if we don't have that, the problem is there's a lot of little authoritarians. There's a lot of people that say, my way, we would all be better off if we, and look, I'll be the first to say, there's a lot of Republicans. You mentioned Andy Ogles. Andy's like, hey, if we were all this way, that we weren't gay, we weren't Muslim, we weren't these, then America, this is America. Well, no, it's not. America's here with a lot of people who disagree, who have different viewpoints.
And always have.
This is how we settle the disputes, is we vote. And we do it this way, and we do it in a nonviolent manner. And if you decide you want to be violent, we're going to arrest you, prosecute you, and incarcerate you.
4317, I don't know. I'm getting crapped on for mispronouncing Ilhan Omar. I don't know. I don't care. It's
Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan. I don't know. If I'm mispronouncing her name, I apologize sincerely to the lady that hates America and would crap on it if she had the ability. 24 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered what? The old-fashioned way. We like to say that it's affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine located right in Franklin. Now, I'm going to give you this number, 599-6868. That's the telephone number to call to schedule an appointment with Grace Point Healthcare. Now, if you're sick, you're thinking, oh, Murph, I call, they're going to make me wait until next week or sometime. No, they don't do that. They don't believe in it, right? They think it's kind of absurd, and I've talked to the team at Grace Point about this, that you would call today and say, hey, I'm sick today. Now, they're going to get you in as quickly as possible, but you're not waiting a couple of weeks like in some of these other places. Oh, we can get you in next 2 Thursdays from now. What? What are you talking about? They get you in. You don't have to wait when you get in the waiting room. And, oh, by the way, as a direct pay format, you know exactly what it's going to cost you for your visit, especially if you sign up for the Smart Care plan. $99 for the adults monthly, $79 for the kids. Pay through your HSA, and you're covered for the entire year. Office visits for the entire year and free basic labs and diagnostics. They are your primary care provider that treats the entire family from newborns to seniors. You need to call them today. 599-6868. Schedule that appointment. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval. They can help eliminate pain in your life. I want you to make the call. So many others have made it. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. They right now have an epic spinal special going on. $33 off every visit. Just mention my name and Supertalk 99.7 WTN. They also have an obligation, a duty, and they consider it an honor to help treat you to find ways to eliminate pain without needles, without surgery, without injections, without downtime. That's what it's all about. It's why Dr. Mitchell started the Medical Bay One, which is a healing machine massaging the entire body using lasers and red light therapy and stem cell stimulation that activates healing technologies that make your body feel better. That's what it's all about, getting you pain-free in 2026. Painisbad.com, painisbad.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They have my seal of approval. You know, I'm getting in on this $99 couple heart and lung scan at Craft Body Scan, and I encourage you to do the same thing. It's just such a special deal. We had an opportunity to talk to the gang at Craft Body Scan yesterday about this, and I'm so excited about it. But I do want to remind you, ladies in the audience, men just don't do these types of things. We do that whistling past the graveyard thing when it comes to our bodies. And oddly enough, men just have a propensity to rub dirt on it, move on, and women are more, nesting types. They're family oriented. They want to make sure that everything's good in the home and everything's good in their bodies and persons. And that's why, ladies, you got to make this call. Do it for your guy. Do it for yourself. Make the call for $99. You can get a couple's heart and lung scan right now, Craft Body Scan. It's non-invasive, doesn't take very long, and it will help figure out what's going on inside of your body. And if there's nothing going on, great, you got peace of mind. And if there is something, you're catching it early enough where you're going to be able to overcome it without fear that it's going to be a long-term issue. That's what it's all about. TogetherWeScan.com, promo code Matt50. Got to put that in. TogetherWeScan.com, promo code Matt50 or 615-436-1000, 436-1000 for Craft Body Scan. It's a crazy time financially speaking. Prices are down on certain homes and in certain areas, and really all across Middle Tennessee, we've seen a price drop. Now, the interest rates have dropped from their highs where they were a year or so ago, which can put you in a nice honey spot for home purchase. And I know this from personal experience because it's where I was last January. I bought a home last January. Could not be happier with the purchase, could not be happier with the home price, could not be happier with the interest rate. And if the rates go down considerably enough, then I always have an opportunity to refinance. If you're looking to do that, if you're looking to purchase a home, if you're looking to renovate your current home or to pay off high-interest credit card debt, might I recommend Accurate Mortgage for all of those things. For example, Adam in Nashville was able to pay off all of his consumer debt, credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, and refi from a 15 to a 30-year. He saved $1,100 a month in what he was spending before. And also, he's debt-free except for the house with $1,100 extra in his pocket at the end of the month. That's what it's all about, friends, saving you money on a month-to-month basis. So whatever you're looking for, find it at AccurateMTG.com. AccurateMTG.com. Accurate Mortgage in MLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender. Jackson won. All right, 36 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's the Matt Murphy Radio. What?
Baby.
Hey, what? Are you all right in there? You hurt yourself?
You know what that means?
You hurt your foot?
You know what that means?
That means I get...
Go ahead and bring that trophy on in here, Matt Murphy.
You get that trophy on Monday. On Monday.
Oh, wrapping it up on a Wednesday. Jeez. Next two rounds are just exhibition, boys. Eat your heart out.
Jeez.
You're getting kind of excited about that, Jackson.
Yeah, he's. I knew that was coming. I sat here and tried to figure out a way during the entire newscast that I could somehow subvert the competition and declare someone else a victor, but it was not happening. Apparently, Shrek Penis hit all the right notes for Nincompoops in the News. Congratulations, Jackson. I hope you're proud of yourself.
I would like to thank DreamWorks Animation, Shrek, and the creepy guy who said that to a senator.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah, sure. Chris Farley, God rest his soul.
Mike Myers.
Yeah, Chris Farley was going to be Shrek.
Yeah.
And then he passed away. And he wasn't. And Mike Myers did a pretty good job of it. That was a pretty good film.
Yeah, Shrek is very good.
Shrek, you monster. Yeah, a little.
I don't remember that in the blooper reel, though.
I've seen the ones going around with Fiona with the, you know what I'm saying? That thing going on, but I haven't seen the other. A lot of comments regarding the conversation where the Constitution, what the Constitution does, what liberties it provides versus what protection that it provides against intrusion from others into our own lives. And, I'm a live and let live kind of guy. I can understand why, some folks are concerned that those, we are a melting pot. We're not chunky stew, but where the government dictates some of these things is also a little concerning. I don't want the country to become something that it's not. I think that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, but it always does change, right? And the issue is, will it change in a way that we don't want? I mean, the answer is maybe. But we have a very good process for sorting out how we do these things. It's very hard to amend the Constitution. And as long as it's the supreme law of the land, this is what I tell people when they're really concerned about things like Sharia law. Well, yeah, but the moment that someone's religious exercise infringes on your liberty as a fellow American, now we've gone out of mere, this is what I believe and choose to express, to I'm infringing on your rights. And now we're looking at the law of the land, not your faith.
My concern is, in some ways, jury nullification when it comes to the judicial system.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, if I value my religion over the law, then I can nullify a jury quite easily in a religiously based case.
You're saying
what I'm saying is, an example, honor killing.
Mm-hmm.
And if my religion allows for honor killing, and I'm on a jury, you can't preclude me from being on the jury by being Muslim, right?
No.
And if I decide to nullify this jury and nullify the law,
well, you're saying that if you basically reject the law as a juror,
right.
I mean, it's possible that somebody like a prosecutor would strike a jury in a way that the prosecutor knows they're going to get nailed, but that's the deal. Is the prosecutor gets to strike jurors just like the defense, and unless you're a bad attorney and your sole challenge is you're a Muslim, that's Batson challenges.
Well, and I think this goes hand in hand with what the levels of fraud that we're seeing in certain communities, in, for example, Minnesota, that the communities come in and they grow an expectation that there is free money to be had, and the politicians, because they get the votes from these communities, are allowing this to actively go on. And we're now seeing, for example, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison under the gun because they knowingly allowed this level of fraud to go on in these cultural communities.
But you're doing the right thing by saying the DOJ going in and saying, you know what, we're going to prosecute you.
Yeah, but where do I go to get my money back?
Oh, well,
as a tax-paying citizen.
Yeah, when people steal from the federal government and commit fraud, like a lot of times we don't get it back. But
and I guess I go back to this, and I'm not arguing with you about it, but or we say, you know what, maybe we should stop importing people that don't have some basic concepts about how we do things in the United States of America until such time as we get a handle on the people who are already here.
Yeah, and I think that's an actually reasonable position to take that's not discriminatory against any protected class. It's simply saying we should slow the flow of immigrants until we can kind of figure out who we are and what we're doing. It's fair. That is not a controversial. I don't think that's an inherently controversial position.
Well, and I don't think that I think you and I don't think we're arguing about this. I think you're coming at it from a legal perspective and me from kind of the cultural aspect of it. But I don't think it advances anything to say things like Muslims don't belong in America.
No,
because it that's just antithetical to everything that the American experiment has ever been.
Yeah, and it should surprise no one that I know a great number of Muslims who are great Americans, and Catholics and Christians and white people and black. Like, when you start using these generic demographic indicators to say all blank are blank, that's bad.
And you know what generally happens when you start doing that? You start having to make up things like, oh, my staff member posted that thing about gay people. I didn't do it.
Yeah, you do.
Because I 100% think
and I try to check myself on that whenever I get sort of a knee-jerk reaction to something that I see in the news of, oh, well, it's because they're a whatever. Well, no, it's because they're a person that decided to chop someone's head off or stab somebody. Like, that's functionally the issue, is they did something that hurt somebody else.
Well, and I'll compare it to another story that's in the news. It's one of the reasons that I am pushing back so forcefully on narratives being created intentionally to divide people based on race on this Carmelo Anthony case. Because it's not even a suggestion. It has been treated as a statement of fact from some on, the talking head networks, that because there was not a black person on the jury, that Carmelo Anthony didn't get a fair trial. And I'm like, what in the hell are you people talking about? Right? Your suggestion is that if you're not black, that you can't possibly sit in judgment with a defendant who is, regarding the law of the state of Texas and what they did or did not do in violation of someone else's rights. It's absurd to me to suggest it.
Yeah, and here's a great text line post. Would either of you be comfortable living in a majority Muslim community? And they said, probably not. Now, what about Christians who've seen their communities overrun by Muslims, as in Michigan communities? Here's the deal. If Christians are overrun, if somebody's acting criminally towards them under American law, then those people should be arrested and prosecuted. Like, that's unequivocally the case, regardless of their faith. And would I be comfortable living in a majority Muslim community? The answer is sure. I lived in Washington, D.C., where my viewpoints were very much in the minority, and I was perfectly fine, because how you treat people is what actually matters.
For me, it's not a faith-based thing. It's a cultural
And that's a fair thing to say, hey, this is just too different from my norm and I don't like it. Okay, cool. That's one of the privileges you have of living in America, to say, hey, I get
to associate. So, I mean, the 1221's comment goes to the heart of association. There's a freedom of association. And for far too long, if I say, you know what, my neighborhood, my town is changing in a way that just doesn't reflect my values or the way that I like to live, so I'm just going to move. That doesn't have to be based on anyone's religion. It doesn't have to be based on anyone's. It just can be based on, I want to go associate with people that are more like me.
Yeah, and I think the opposite can be true too. That you can find a culture. I'll use an example: Indian culture. Growing up, I didn't know many people who were Indian. I did not eat Indian food. I did not know much about the culture whatsoever. I have a lot more Indian neighbors now, and I'm like, man, this is an awesome culture. Like, these are folks who, they understand family. Like, they are super connected. They party like rock stars with all the people that they know and love. And I love that. Like, it's awesome. So I see that, and I'm like, I want to be more like that. I like this cultural thing that I'm exposed to, and I want more of that. It's easy for people to go the other way too and say, I see something about this culture, I want less of that. I want to distance myself from that, and that's okay.
Well, but inherent in the suggestion though is that that there's something wrong with Muslim communities, and I think that is a dangerous assumption.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think that there's anything wrong with, a Chinatown in some of the bigger cities. That's what we'd call the areas where the Chinese people would congregate. You call it Chinatown, right? I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with, a more Irish community in some of the bigger cities.
Sure.
If you expand it out to a worldview, I think there's something very wholesome and good about knowing where you come from, appreciating and valuing our own culture, and at the same time exposing yourself to other cultures and recognizing that there are many people around the world that live very differently than we do.
Yeah.
And America is the place that everybody wants to be, and there's a reason for that. And so we should welcome those people that embrace the freedom and liberty of the United States of America. My fear is that we're welcoming people that don't. And if we have too much of that, then there's going to be an effort to alter our culture, like we have seen, and it circles back around to the UK situation. I think you're seeing more of that in the UK, and I think they've swung their liberal immigration policies a little to the extreme, where they're getting people that just don't value the way that they live in the UK. And now you're left with what to do about that. And frankly, the only thing you're able to do about it, if you're going to respect religious observances, is to kind of shut it down and put a stop, at least a pause on it, try to get a handle on what you got there.
But I would argue, and so maybe this is where we're coming at it a little differently. I don't think the problem with the UK is the immigrants. I think the problem with the UK is there are a bunch of navel-gazing ninnies who look at this stuff, and instead of being practical and realistic, they're like, well, you can't have knives unless it's a religious knife that's super big. Well, that's just dumb. You're being dumb. You guys don't have policies that...
No, Muslims have been elected in the UK that have passed laws in the UK preventing people in the UK from speaking out against Muslims. That's the problem.
So you're telling me the entirety of the British government is dominated by Islamists, and therefore the UK is...
Or pansies that have bowed before it.
And I would agree to the latter, right? The latter is actually the truth, and to say, hey, here's people.
Well,
just don't do it. Is what I'm saying. Is that if you got folks coming in that are pushing a viewpoint, an agenda, a perspective of faith that you're just like, no. If you're the pansy that's like, well, I should accommodate this, then whose fault is it? If you're just like, sure, yeah, run over me with a truck, well, stop.
Well, and now that the natives are pushing back, they are being called the bad guys.
Sure.
I mean, right now in Ireland, it's what's happening. The people that are pushing back and saying, to hell with this, we don't want behead. And I understand what you're saying. You should not paint with a broad brush and suggest that because one Muslim tried to behead someone that all Muslims are going to. I understand that. And it's a very complex issue, especially in nations like ours that believe in a freedom to act and associate in a way of your choosing.
Yeah, in America, that guy, knife-wielding weirdo, gets shot.
Is in jail. Or yes, 100% gets shot. And that's part of the problem. And to your point, that's a part of the problem in the UK.
Yeah, they don't actually get civil liberties.
Right.
That's a huge problem. And what's interesting is what you're saying is how people with a worldview can come into that environment and dominate it because they don't have the fundamental respect for the civil liberties like we do.
Right.
And so if
they're willing to violate them, and as a one-off, you can deal with that as a one-off, but you see more and more of it happening, and that creates a cultural clash.
Yes. Well,
where naturally people are like, oh my God, everybody that's doing this seems to be coming, and it almost creates a level of bigotry.
Well, this is where like hate speech and all these laws where you're trying to address content of stuff. That's where the UK messes up, is they're like, well, these are good things and these are bad things. In the United States, we don't say good or bad things. We just say you can't mess around with each other. You got to draw the line here, and we don't care about good or bad necessarily. We care that you respect each other.
Judge people based on what they do, how they act, not what they think or what they necessarily say.
Right.
So as long as they're not in, specific.
It's really just the negative rights thing. It's you can't infringe on my right. You can do whatever you want. But the moment you cross that line into what I'm doing, now we have a problem. And the U.S. does a good job of dealing with that.
Well, it's a great conversation. It extends over on the Super Text line and via the phone lines, and I appreciate all of you. We've got one more break to take, and we'll be back in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I have a question. How's your water? Is it good in your home, in your place of business? You appreciate the water? You feel comfortable getting a glass out of the cupboard, going over to the tap, cranking that tap open and just swigging back some water? Or you're like, the taste is weird, Murphy, or I don't know what's inside that water. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'll just have bottled water. My goodness gracious, you're wasting a lot of money. Better Water LLC is here for you. It's a big old Brita pitcher for your house, right? Scalable from under the sink, which is what I have in my basement area, to the entire house, removing sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, E. coli, everything from your water. I've got a reverse osmosis system in the basement area of my home because I wanted some delicious branch water for, when I have friends or family over and we might have a beverage or two. They have specialized filters, UV lights, water softeners, you name it. If you need it, they have it, and they do not recommend anything that you don't need. That's why they do a comprehensive examination of your water on their first visit. Go to betterwater.com. That's betterwater.com, or give them a call. Tell them Murphy sent you, 355-6063, 355-6063 for Better Water LLC. Want to know about a place where European Auto Repair doesn't feel like European Auto Repair? It's Eurofix. There's a lot of things that Americans are split 50-50 on. Politics, working from home or the office. But we agree on this. Eurofix is the place to go when you need auto repair for your European vehicle. Most of the problems in fixing your vehicle is a knowledge issue. It's not somebody trying to rip you off. And they have the most knowledgeable, best paid mechanics in the business at Eurofix. They do things differently there, but it doesn't translate into bigger prices for you. They keep their overhead down. They also offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work they perform. They fix European vehicles at below dealer pricing. Rental cars are available. They're locally owned, family run with 5 separate locations. Call or book online today at myyurofix.com. That's myyurofix.com, or make the call 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Eurofix. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I do agree that there is it feels to me a very large difference between a lot of the people of Muslim faith that I speak to in the United States of America and some of the individuals that I hear speaking from Muslim-based countries around the globe. And, you know, that's a difference that perhaps we need to recognize and address. Once again, I think most of this would be addressed with much stricter immigration policy in the United States, if not an out-and-out moratorium on immigration into the United States of America until we get a handle on some of the cultural issues that we see. But you brought up something during the break, too, is that a lot of these cultural issues are coming from home. They're coming from, like, Harvard and Yale and you know, these liberal arts universities that are, you know, essentially teaching our children, American children, to hate America.
Yeah, it's that the real issue here is the fact that you were born a certain way, and that's your fault. And you know, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. We have a history of telling people that they were born a certain way, and that's bad. It's their fault. And so our response to that is to tell people that are born a certain way that it's your fault. I'm like, guys, do y'all see the big picture here? Like, maybe we should just be Americans, support one another, and see what we can do to kick butt and take names.
Hey, speaking of America, you got some AI data centers up in Nolensville yet, or
I can't wait.
I had a listener tell me the last time we talked about it that they were going to demand that the city councils of Nolensville and Mount Pleasant build data centers in our backyards.
You know, I need them to make. We don't have a great revenue engine, so if that data center can be put in Nolensville and they can generate some revenue so my taxes don't go up, let's do it.
They're gonna employ like 5 people.
And we could put cows on top of it and let the cows graze on top of the data center.
You know, now you might be talking about something.
I like it.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, Cameron Smith. For Cameron, for Jackson, for Ken, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.